Yo, listen up, it's your boy Birch in the his house. The plan so slick, gonna make your pockets dizzouse. I got an app that's gonna change your life, but before you download, let me slice through the strife. They say the earth's a globe, but I beg to differ. I'll make you believe, I'll make you shiver. Spectroscopy needs a container, that's my claim. I've got no clue, I just hang my head in shame. Yo, listen up, it's your boy Dirt H in the his house. That's the horse house. Got a plan so slick, gonna make your pockets dizzouse. I got an app that's gonna change your life, but before you download, let me slice through the strife. They say the earth's a globe, but I beg to differ. I'll make you believe, I'll make you shiver. Spectroscopy needs a container, that's my claim. I've got no clue, I just hang my head in shame. But turn up, that's the line I'm preaching. Sell my app, it's what I'm seeking. Fake challenge, try your luck. While I'm laughing, pocketing a buck. I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
Flat Earth, that's the lie I'm preaching. Sell my app, it's what I'm seeking. Fake challenge, try your luck. While I'm laughing, pocketing a buck. I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
Yo, Dave Weiss is a scammer. Talk about Antarctica, the icy place. Offered a free trip, dangled it in my face, but I won't go. It's not about thrift. I'm staying home, gotta protect my grift. I'm a scammer. I'm a scammer. Yo, Dave Weiss is a scammer. Talk about Antarctica, that icy place. Offered a free trip, dangled it in my face, but I won't go, it's not about thrift. I'm staying home, gotta protect my grift. I'm a scammer. Antarctica, that icy place. Offered a free trip, dangled it in my face, but I won't go, it's not about thrift. I'm staying home, gotta protect my grift. I'm a scammer. The scammer, I play the game. Gonna hustle hard, gonna rise to fame. But remember one thing, it's all a ploy. To make that green, I'll be your decoy. So if you wanna join, come take my hand. But beware the tricks, it's all planned. T-I-T-R-H, that's my name. In the world of scams, I got the fame.
I'm a scammer.
That's right, Dave Weiss is a scammer. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday Night. I'm your host, MCToon. Now, Dave Weiss is a scammer. We all knew that, but he also doxed 33,000 flat earthers, not 200,000, because there aren't that many actual people in his app. That's a lie. One of the many lies that he tells. He doxed all 33,000 of the users of his app, but not satisfied with that. Dearth is also trying to dox me. So you will, many people have mentioned it to me. I was aware. There is a website. Some people have suggested that maybe Dearth commissioned the website. Now, whether or not that's true remains to be seen. But Dave is happy to give away what he thinks is all of my information. So I'll tell you this, I spent, before I did my very first video, I spent months creating some rabbit holes. So I'll just leave it there. Anyway, Dave is a filthy, dirty, lying scum. And you'll go ahead and watch the video that he put on the channel there, where he was talking. So the scammer Dave was talking to a scammer that's trying to scam the scammer Dave. So you got the potato scammer and the other scammer, and the potato scammer, some people think, hired the other scammer to do this acting thing. Whether or not that's the case shall be seen. That's one option. The other idea is that maybe Dave Weiss, the scammer, was just grooming the other scammer and getting him to agree to things that he wouldn't otherwise agree to. Now, Dave Weiss is very good at grooming. It's one of his skills. He's good at grooming. That's a very real possibility as well. And but you will notice if you watch that video that at no point does the one being groomed or the one that Dave hired, one or the other of these, the other scammer, as I've said, the other scammer did not ever confirm the information that Dave Weiss, the scammer, was trying to extract from him. There was no confirmation of it. So, but Dave doesn't care. He just ran with it. And then, so now Dave has accused me of hiring somebody to hack him. Now say, if anybody wanted to hack Dave Weiss has published his password. His password is freely available. You can go get it. It's out there. It's not that hard to find, his password, and all of his information. He published it himself in his own crappy app that 10 months ago he found out about, had a leak, had zero security, and you know what he's done to fix it? I don't either. It's still insecure. 10 months later, Dave Weiss's potato app is still insecure. So, well, what are you going to do, Dave? In there, also funny, in that video, Dave Weiss, who's too chicken to face me in a debate. Dave Weiss, who, when Max and I came onto a live show that he was on, Dave scampered off like a chicken. Dave Weiss, who had an opportunity to get an all-expense paid trip to Antarctica. Dave Weiss, who last Saturday got a personal invitation to come and debate Will Duffy and present evidence for Flat Earth. That Dave Weiss who ran away from all of those things, Dave Weiss, he thought he would call me a pussy. Dave Weiss said that about me. Oh, the projection, Dave Weiss. Yeah, so much projection. Dave, come debate me. You won't, Dave. You're a pussy. That's why. That's right, Dave. Dave Weiss is a pussy. Debate me. Debate me live. We'll do it in person, Dave Weiss, you pussy. You're too scared to debate me live, Dave Weiss, because you're a pussy. You know, Dick Wayne showed up last week. He came and talked to me. We had a nice talk. Dick, you're invited on anytime you want. We can have a chat. Let me know. But Dave Weiss is a pussy. And why is he scared to debate me? Because if he'll debate me, he'll get humiliated again and lose money. Because his app is a piece of trash. And I will point it out. Because Dave Weiss is a pussy. But that's not what I'm covering today. I might do a little more of a video on Dave Weiss's accusations against me and his attempting to dox me. I might do that in a little bit later. Yeah, see Dick Wayne's in the chat now. Welcome, Dick Wayne. So today we're going to be looking at and talking about the final debate. Of course, it's not the final debate, but that's marketing, and flat earthers don't understand marketing. They get all confused when Will Duffy is like, let's call it the final experiment, and let's call it the final debate. Like, it's not the final. Oh yeah, we know. It's marketing, you big babies, you big whiners. That's why he did it, so that you would cry and whine about it. And it worked well. Good job, Will. So you will need to get ready. If you have your tab, make sure you open it and get some tab going. You're going to need it to keep the brain safe. Anyway, so Will had a 3-part for each for each debater that he invited. 3 parts. He had a simple format, and he wanted to maximize the number of people there. So, so he did I had a format, right? And the format was introduce yourself, and regularly flat earthers struggle to deal with the concept of introduce yourself. So they struggled with that, but anyway, introduce yourself. Then part 1, will ask us a simple question, a stumper of a question, right? And then they have an opportunity to try to answer it. Number 2 is, what's your best evidence for flat Earth without talking about the globe? Because if you'll notice, what is the name of Eric Dubay's big video, the 200 something, 200 what? Proofs that the Earth is not a globe. You see that? He's not even trying to prove flat, right, by the name of the video. But people watch that and say, oh, Earth flat, because they got fooled, right? He duped them. That's what he does. So you don't have evidence for something by talking about not that thing, right? If you have a rabbit and you want to show somebody how it is a rabbit, you don't talk about how it is not a horse. You see? So that's number 2. Number 3 then is that part wasn't ahead of time, but this third part was known ahead of time to everybody. You will then talk about one of the 12 experiments that Will highlighted. So be ready for them. And so I get it. That's a challenge for flat earthers doing, these kinds of things. Let me give you an example here of the second part. The second part being, give evidence for your position without talking about other positions. So, can I give evidence for the globe without talking about other? If I was in that position, here's what I would do for myself. I would say, oh, well, yes, the Earth, a globe requires that when you increase elevation, that the horizon must drop by a certain amount. So we can compute the elevation drop through 35,000 feet for a globe with a radius of 6,371 kilometers will be somewhere around 3.2 degrees drop. And in fact, that's what we find when we go measure that. At extremely high elevation, say 100,000 feet, with a rectilinear lens, there should be a left to right curve to the horizon. In fact, there is. A globe Earth that's rotating requires that the downward acceleration due to gravity should vary with your elevation and with latitude. At near the equator, the total downward acceleration should be minimized, and at the poles it should be maximized. And of course, at higher elevation, and especially near the poles, the downward acceleration will also be smaller. And in fact, when we measure these things, that's what we get: more confirmation that the Earth is a globe. There are, when you do surveys over very large areas and you measure triangles, the sum of the angles of the triangles sum to more than 180 degrees. This is something that's required on a globe, and it is in fact observed and measured. Confirmation the Earth is a globe. Similarly, reciprocal zenith angles. When you measure from one location to another location, the departure from straight up, so that's zenith is straight up. When you measure that angle down at both locations and you sum them together, a globe requires it to be more than 180 degrees, and it is in fact more than 180 degrees. So I gave you a few off the top of my head. I didn't practice this. I didn't write it down. So if somebody were to ask me to do that, I can do it. And I don't need to mention the other shape of the Earth that some people that are incorrect might think. You see how I did that, flatties? That's what none of them could do. This was absolutely fantastic. Now, another part of this was spectacular because Will invited people, the flat earthers, well ahead of time. They could have come and they had a stage ready to present the shape of the earth, their evidence, right? Because that was one of the things, present your evidence for the shape of the earth. And gave a specific invitation to the 24 people that he invited to go to TFE. Now, 2 of them were replaced. Jaron, who's no longer a flat earther, was replaced. And one other was replaced. I forgot. Doesn't matter. They're replaced with Joe Hanvey and Karen B. So there's 24. So you got Dave Weiss, Eric DeBay, Mark Sargent, ODD TV, Dean Odell. Maybe it was ODD. That was because he's in prison. I don't know. Nathan Oakley, Whitsitt, Dave Murphy, Flat Earth Millionaire, Matthew Long, Flatzoid, Taboo Conspiracy, Eddie Bravo, Santos Bonacci, Caleb FE, Dell, Beyond the Imaginary Curve, Sean Griffin, Ken Heidelbrecht, Sean Hibbler, Robbie Davidson. Oh yeah, Robbie's gone. So Robbie was pulled out of that list. D Marble, Bryce Mitchell, and Globebusters. And of course, Globebusters is actually multiple people. So there's more than 24 people that were specifically invited, and Will would double his donation if they showed up, and they didn't show up. None of them showed up. They're all chicken. They were given an opportunity to present their case, and they ran. They ran away. So anyway, so I have the people that did show were embarrassing. So I'm going to show I got some clips, some select portions of some of them, not all of them. There's too many to cover in one sitting here. But before that, let me read a couple super chats. We got Basil Problem complaining about Will. Don't care. Jack Fetter says, am I in the right stream? Did someone say Regina? I did not say that, but you are in the right stream. Brenda says, so the website includes gay. So Brenda says the gay smear is so 90s cringe. Yeah. So good job, flatties. Good job, science deniers. Good job, lying scum. The 90s called what's their insult back. Jack Fetter says scammed potatoes are awesome with a little cheese. Are they? Unfornicated for $5 says TFE has been pretty final since. The collective Flat Earth EEG has been flat-lined ever since. Not that it had much activity to begin with. And of course, yeah, I mean, this debate, I mean, it showed clearly the 24, the top dog leaders of the flat earthers ran like scared little babies. Just little babies. Couldn't handle it. They didn't care enough about donating money to stop human trafficking. So we can be certain that those 24 people, there's more than 24, but those 24 people do not care, in my opinion, to prevent human trafficking. So, Icy Spin has a yellow circle and then a backward D and then a blue circle and a red circle and a green circle and a purple circle. I don't know what that is. But thank you, Icy Spin. Jack Fetter says, look, it's Dick, dude. You are stupid in person. Wow. Hey, he showed up. He showed up. Give him that, right? Basil Problem wants me to take off my shirt and do push-ups. No. I'm sorry to let you down. Basil Problem again says, which part of... Wow, Basil Problem. Tell you what. There you go. Bye, Basil Problem. You're gone forever. Never see you again. But I'll take your money. Thank you for the money, Basil Problem. CK says, my mom's middle name was gay and it means happy. R.I.P. Yep. There it is. Fletcher Boy says, great video from space during Starship flight earlier. Oh my goodness. I missed it. So I coach Ultimate Frisbee. Tonight was the final Ultimate Frisbee coaching, like a summer session. So we were there. I was a little late. Like I scrambled home because it was the final of the summer. And so we're wrapping up, which means that next week begins the fall. So all the leagues and stuff start in the fall for the stuff. So, yeah, I will watch it. Don't tell me. Nobody tell me. No spoilers about what happened with Starship. So, all right. Let's get this. So when I make a folder or make a video, right? It starts with a folder where I put all of the stuff for that, and sometimes it's just a thumbnail. But if I have extra things that I'm going to do, I put in here. So I named the folder 675: The Final Scattering, but I didn't title it that. I titled it Flerfs Totally Failed. So I'm going to. Oh, hold on. Did you hear that? Was that coming through? No, it wasn't. All right. So here is an old video of an old thing from Jason Laffenberg and Ronnie James Dio. So what was this? Aldebaran says, thank you. Who's going after me on Yerba Mate Talks the other night, and I played nice for most of it. Yeah. All right. Here you go. Let's listen to this.
And Ronnie James Harris and myself, Jason William Laufenberg, are not only acting as the prosecutors in this trial, but we maintain that we are the two witnesses spoken of in the Bible.
Yeah, they maintain they are the two witnesses spoken of in the Bible. In case you don't know and you got to look it up, but that's all right. It's kind of a fringe thing. It's in Revelation. They 3.5 years they're going to prophesy. They're going to right, these two idiots that can't even figure out basic geometry. These two morons here can't even figure out basic geometry, right? And anyway, they're supposed to like call rain from the skies and blood from heaven and stuff like that. They forgot to do all that stuff, I guess. Anyway, it's funny because they get upset if you say that, and they're like, we didn't say that. Yeah, they said that on Saturday. Ronnie denied that that was said about him by his good buddy Jason. So Kango44 says, if you add up all the IQs of the flatties that turned up to Will's thing, you get 0. Yeah. Yep. September 27th. What about September 27th? Anyway, so I have here, I'm going to just jump right to...
Okay. Are you aware?
I don't know if that came through, but it doesn't matter because we're going to see it here. That probably did come through. Okay. Here we go. Here is the first section. Now remember, 3 parts to the format. Number 1, well, before that, introduce yourself, right? Then number 1, Will's going to ask a stumper of a question. Number 2 is provide evidence for flat earth. Like that would be a great place to show your model, guys, right? Without talking about the globe. And then number 3 is to talk about a specific one of the 12 final experiments that Will had highlighted. So they had an opportunity to look at all of them. And can he be like just even the most basic like of intelligence to follow these simple directions?
Okay. Are you aware that the globe model is predicting a total solar eclipse that will be viewable from Disney World on August 12th of 2045? Are you aware of that?
I have looked at the ones out that far, and yes, I've seen that. Okay,
cool. And then before I get to the tough question, do you believe that's going to happen as the globe model predicts?
If you can see my shirt, I've been at all the eclipses in the United States in the last 8 years. That was 2 total solar eclipses and 1 partial. I've been to all 3 of them, and I actually know the mechanics of eclipses.
He knows the mechanics of eclipses, people. He's going to share them, isn't he?
Very well.
Okay, so was that a yes? You do think that that eclipse will happen at that location on that date?
Yes, they are very predictable.
Okay, awesome. So here's the question that I think is going to be nearly impossible for you to answer. How do we know there will be a total solar eclipse viewable from Disney World on August 12th of 2045?
Because there's specific timetables that are involved, and that through the use of 3D modeling like Stellarium and SunCalc and MoonCalc and timeanddate.com, that we can actually...
Stellarium, SunCalc, MoonCalc, timeanddate.com. He referenced them. He seriously referenced them.
Find the places where there's an overlap for the viewer of the sun and moon, where there's a position where they do eclipse each other, and that is all proven from a stereographic plane.
So will he be providing that? Like, is any of this anywhere provided? Of course, no. Let me just a second. I got this. Jay Donna, she sent this. Here's my mug for the night. It's a dragon. Yes. Yeah, Jason has been very rude to Patricia Steer for a long time. And so that was what why I blocked him on Will's chat. I took a screenshot. When I block somebody on somebody else's channel, I take a screenshot and then send it to him. So after the debate, I sent all the screenshots that I took. It was more than just one. So Will could see and decide for himself where they wanted to keep that block. And then of course, Awake Souls popped in with a whole bunch more sock accounts. I think 6 or 7 sock accounts, and whined and cried about censorship. And let me just remind everybody, I am blocked on Jason's channel and have been for years. So Jason, you don't get to say one word about complaining about being censored. Nothing. You got 3 hours into that, and then when you started attacking Patricia, that was it. Okay? Jason Laffenberg is a human-shaped colostomy bag that talks. Anyway, so that is the hypocrisy. Of course, I'm blocked on his channel, but he complains about censorship. You don't get to complain about censorship if you aggressively censor people. So anyway, I saw that Patricia's here. Glad to see you here. Gave her made her a mod here. So, but colostomy bags are useful. Yes, but we know what they're full of. The same thing that Jason Laufenberg is full of. So, all right. Anyway, so this is hilarious. His evidence for it is to use three-dimensional geometry to this is it right here. Solar eclipse predictions with VSOP 87 and ELP 2000. This is how Fred Espenak predicts eclipses. He uses these two things here. Now, what are the VSOP 87 and ELP 2000? VSOP 87 is a three-dimensional model of the solar system. It is a table that has been pre-computed of positions of many planets and even some additional things. There's other models, but for eclipses you don't need asteroids and moons of Jupiter and stuff, for example. But so it's got several planets in this VSOP 87 for 6,000 years. So the positions of the planets which is important for the sun, the earth, right? Those two positions and the moon is what you need for the eclipse. So this is has the position of the sun and moon for 6,000 years in 3-dimensional space. Okay. Then this is great. ELP 2000 is the position of the moon in relation to the earth and the sun. And how is the distance between the earth and the moon determined and plugged in to get the distances for ELP 2000? Through the lunar rangefinder that the Apollo missions put on the moon. So a laser is sent at the moon, bounced off of the moon, and the total time is used to determine the distance to the moon, and that is put into ELP 2000 to get the position of that and other things to get the position of the moon. So this and stellarium, sun calc, moon calc, they don't. The sun calc and moon calc don't do eclipses really, right? So anyway, this is how it's computed. You don't get to claim this is somehow related to flat Earth. It's not one bit related to flat Earth. Not at all. Not one bit. He's like, it was all computed on a stereographic flat plane. No, it wasn't. You just said that. You actually have to show it. I can show it, right? You can pull up, you can go get VSOP 87, you can get ELP 2000. These are publicly available, right? And then you can go and do the same thing that Fred Espenek did. And you can get the position. Go ahead. Right? Anyway, so that's how it's actually computed. But what did he say? He said stellarium and other things that aren't really about eclipses, right? He doesn't even know really what is used to compute the eclipses that he went to. He went to see eclipses at certain locations and times that were completely computed based on the globe position, the Earth's position in 3-dimensional space in relation to the sun. He doesn't know this. He doesn't even know what was used to it, but he says he knows well enough. Oh, bless.
Fixed and stationary plane. We have the models that do it to 100th of a degree per second.
Okay, so just so you know that prediction is based on spherical geometry. Were you aware of that?
No.
Yes,
all measurements are taken from a plane. The only way you can get an angle elevation is from a flat baseline.
Hold on. I can't let you go off topic. We're not talking about elevation angles. We're talking about predicting a total solar eclipse in 2045. They do that by using spherical models, and that's how we know it will be visible from Disney World.
No, you're making a huge error. In fact, it's probably intentional right here. All elevation angles for the sun and moon are taken from a flat plane, and that's what you need to know in order to see.
All right, well, let's have a look here. Is that the case? Is it actually the case? Well, here is Euclid. Euclid is the the great grandpappy of geometry. Euclid Elements, Book 3, Proposition 18. This is well over 2,000 years old. And in those 2,000 years, nobody's ever found a problem with it. Nobody's ever falsified this. So here we go. Here we have a circle. Now, a circle is what you get when you bisect a sphere. So here's F is the center of that. C is on the perimeter here. And we've got this line E, G, D. We've got this line here, right? That's tangent to the surface at that position at C. Since you have a line right there, that's at that position at point C, you can measure an angle relative to that line. That measurement of that angle does not make this circle into this line. You get to do this in geometry. So you get to measure angles on a curved surface at a point on that curved surface. There's nothing not allowed in that. There's nothing unusual about that. This is completely acceptable and normal stuff to do. So he just basically parroted Oakley. He dug up into Oakley's butt and pulled this out of Oakley's butt.
The overlap of the sun and moon as far as an eclipse would take place in the sky.
Elevation angles have absolutely nothing to do with an eclipse prediction.
No,
Zero.
do you understand how to locate any luminary? You need an azimuth and an altitude. Where does the altitude come from?
We're talking about a total solar eclipse viewable from Disney World.
We're talking about how it's measured.
In 2045.
What are the measurements that you use?
There's no measurements for this. It's okay. You don't have an answer.
What are the measurements for this?
Because we're moving on.
Elevation angles come from a flat plane.
It has nothing to do with elevation angles. So hopefully the...
All right. So that was the end of that interaction. Yeah. And so he went, this is Oakley's tactic from the beginning, right? He takes this geometry, this claim about geometry that I wonder sometimes if Oakley understands it, is wrong, right? But the flat earthers aren't smart enough to get it. They can't understand that this type of thing it's easy to measure this. In fact, when you're using a sextant, you're using the horizon as your reference. But when you're using a theodolite, which is a more precise way to do it, you're not using the horizon at all. And so this situation here isn't even what you're doing when you're using a theodolite. When you're using a theodolite, what do you have? You have one thing. You have the vertical vector. You've got gravity pulling down on the bubble spirit level, the liquid in the spirit level. And then there's in more precise ones, there's mechanisms inside to automatically get more precise. So that all you have then is vertical. So all measurements that you use, that you get with a theodolite, aren't relative to horizontal. They're only relative to vertical. Now, if you choose to use it as an elevation angle, you're just taking the complement of that angle, right? So if you're measuring an elevation of 30 degrees using a theodolite, you didn't do that. You first measured a departure from vertical of 60 degrees, and then you took the complement of that, which is 90 minus 60 to give you 30. So the elevation is the departure from vertical difference from 90. That's what it is. That's all you have. So, all right. So that's part one. Let's get to part two here.
Go ahead.
All right. So this is, let me make this.
Well, I remind you, this is part two, where he is supposed to, he's been invited to give evidence for flat Earth without talking about the globe. Something that I did. I rattled off a handful of them at the beginning of this.
Full view so that everybody can read this. Get that nice and big.
By the way,
because
need...
this is supposedly a debate, I should get a introduction. Is that?
Oh, he's past the introduction. The introduction is, "Hi, my name is," and I think this. That's the introduction. And so Jason is trying to hijack this by declaring his own format for the debate. Will gets to decide the format, not Jason. But Jason thinks that he gets to hijack it and he gets to choose the format. And how embarrassing for him, because this right here, this is part three, right? He's about to try to go to part three, and steamroll into to this here. What a sad, strange person he is.
Is that correct?
No. So you need to be concise, and you need to make a case that we live on a flat Earth. We need to get through a bunch of flat earthers so that we can raise enough money for the Exodus Road. So now is your time to give evidence that we live on a flat Earth. Nothing else. Go for it.
No, this is about debunking your 12 experiments.
No, it's not.
That's the next section, actually.
No.
Oh my gosh.
This is about debunking your experiments.
This is so funny. He's got such a massive ego. He thinks he gets to declare the format.
The 12 experiments that you say prove the Earth is a spinning ball. That's the whole premise of what you call this false dichotomy, Saya. right? So I have a presentation here that goes through each and every single one of your so-called experiments.
So he imagined that he gets to spend, I don't know, 1 or 2 hours doing the presentation. That's what he thinks he gets to do.
And debunks them.
Cool.
Every single one.
That's the next section. So
No, it's not.
Okay, so if you don't want to follow the rules of the debate, then the debate's going to be over. I am giving you the red carpet right now. I'm giving you the stage to make a case that we live on a flat Earth. It
All right,
sounds
well
like
then-
you can't do it.
No, I have the next section after debunking your 12 experiments is me debunking 12 things about the globe. And I can probably do that without saying the word globe.
Well, okay, you just
So then
mentioned
I have to-
Too late. He's such a douche. He's such a douche. Oh my gosh.
you just mentioned globe, so that section of the debate is over.
We haven't even begun. I'm letting you know that I have a presentation that can debunk it without me needing to use that word.
All right, and that's part 2. Sorry, I was typing. So yeah, so apparently we got a Basil Problem sock in the chat here. Feel free to play Whack-A-Troll with him. So that that was his opportunity. Will explained it, and I cut off that part because, you know, right, for this video, you know, this is your chance to provide evidence for flat Earth, and he thought that he gets to just by decree change the format. Oh, what a piece of trash. But he has a Prezi, says Brenda. Yes, he has a Prezi. He has a... All right.
Audience knows that. Okay,
Part
so
3.
now is
All right, and this is longer. This gets a bit longer, but this is I'm gonna speed it up a bit. So now this is the part where he is going to be given an opportunity to attempt to respond to one of the 12 experiments that Will has highlighted. And of course, they have gone through them. So, and he has them ready to go. So he should just like jump right in, right?
audience knows that. Okay, so now is your time to shine. You now get to present your model. Go ahead.
All right. So this is, let me make this full view so that everybody can read this. Get that nice and big.
By the
So
way,
because
you need,
this is supposedly
Oh, I misedited this. All right, hold on one. Let me jump ahead. All right, here we go.
it's over.
we haven't even begun. I'm letting you know that I have a presentation that can debunk it without me needing to use that word.
Well, unfortunately, we're going to move on to the next section now, which is the 12 experiments, because you were unable to make a case for flat Earth, which is unfortunate. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to pull up for everybody to see. Stand by. I'm going to pull up a list of all 12 experiments. And then here we go. Okay, so here are the 12 final experiments. And let's see here. Which one do I want to talk about with you? I would like to talk about Southern flights.
All right, well, until we actually have the opportunity to debunk every single one of these, this is not final, but I will go ahead and address that one.
This is not final. I'm going to tell my mom that this is not final.
One thing for you.
Great.
I'm going to need to screen share again.
You're going to talk about Southern flights?
Yes.
Okay, great. So before you screen share, let's see here. I want to help people understand that we have nonstop flights in the Southern Hemisphere. And those are very difficult to make sense of on a flat Earth. So go ahead.
Let me get the tab back up here.
So for people wondering, Dick Wayne does have a wrench. And the reason why is because that was part of the agreement from last week when he did come on. So as long as he doesn't cross the line and go doing stupid stuff, then that's fine. I'm okay. I'm okay, as you know, with lots of people having wrenches, and as long as they're not being abusive. But yes, definitely do play Whack-A-Troll with Basal Problems sock account.
And I just have to go to, what experiment was that?
Southern Flights.
Number. I've got every single one of them here.
6. Okay, how do nonstop Southern Hemisphere flights work on flat Earth?
Here, am I presented?
Yep.
Because here we go. What is not a scientific experiment?
He can't follow instructions. Seriously.
Statements like maps on the globe exist because the globe exists is circular reasoning. General attacks on flat earthers not having a map or model, assertions that science is prediction without performing. This is what ChatGPT said after reading the transcript from your.
Yeah, he can't do his own work. Right? This is what whenever somebody uses ChatGPT to do their work for a debate or figuring things out like this, do you think like having somebody else do your work is seriously, like, ChatGPT said this, therefore you can't reject it? Yes, I can.
Your video.
Okay, that's okay. I want to know what you think, Jason, about Southern Hemisphere flights, not ChatGPT.
The straw man.
Of course, ChatGPT didn't give an answer for Southern Hemisphere flights for flat Earth.
Setup is that you're targeting the Gleason map, a single pole azimuthal equidistant projection, because it only has one pole.
Would you like to share a map, Jason, that you think makes?
Yeah, so he wants to talk about the Gleason map. The Gleason projection is a map projection. Notice it's highlighted. He has it italics. It's a map projection, right? So he's throwing shade on Gleason correctly because it's a map projection. Okay, so it's not acceptable to Jason to have a map projection.
Makes sense of Southern flights, yes or no?
This right here is a 2-scale projection of.
There's no such thing as a 2-scale projection. It's either 2-scale or a projection. It's not both. A projection by definition is not 2-scale. And because you're on a surface that is not the same as the original. That's a point of a projection. So he's wrong in saying that. And it's amazing that he's this dumb, really just dumb, that he thinks that there's some such thing as a 2-scale projection. So and I don't know where this I don't think that's quite right, because it curves up at the top and curves like the shape goes weird at the top and bottom. I don't know if that's right. But anyway, let's.
Hey, Jason, would you like to share a map? If you don't like the AE map, would you like to share a map where Southern flights work? Yes or no?
So this is a flight with a Haversine formula.
You just. That's not Southern Hemisphere.
Applied. They call it a Great Circle route.
That's the Northern Hemisphere, Jason. We're talking about Southern Hemisphere. You need to stay on topic, please.
He's so dumb.
This right here is a Southern flight. This would be from Sydney to Santiago.
Yep. That's a globe map, by the way.
This is it on our projection.
That's not your projection. That's not your projection. There, hold on. Let me get your projection. This is your projection. You call this your projection. It says on the bottom, map of the elect, Ronnie and Jason. This is your projection. Of course, it's a projection from the globe, something you don't accept. But this is the one that they have been talking about as their projection that they prefer. Why would you prefer a projection if you're a flat earther? You'd want a non-projection. A non-projected map of a flat surface on a flat surface is the easiest thing to make. Yet they can't make it. Oh dear, awake souls, you're so bad.
That's not your projection.
Yes, it is. This right here is the coordinate system of Earth projected to scale. And the closest thing that I can show you is a mole weed, which has a little bit of distortion.
What kind of weed? That's what I wondered. We'll get to that.
At the top here, this is the closest thing that I can show you to it, but this actually shows the flight on a 2-scale projection of the coordinate system using the Haversine formula, because as you can see,
you can't use the Haversine formula, people, is a spherical trigonometric function to determine the distance between 2 points on the surface of a sphere, not on the surface of something flat. As soon as you use Haversine, you're using the globe, and that's a first law of Flerf win.
the latitudes get shorter as you go towards the South Pole.
I'm looking
taking advantage of going closer to the pole, you can actually make a shorter route by this curved path than a direct path between the two places.
I'm looking at
If that was a 2-scale map, then you just draw a straight line between them.
a very oblate spheroid, so it sounds like we're on the same page here.
I am showing you right here what a 2-scale projection of Earth's coordinate system looks like. This is 21,600 nautical miles wide and 10,800 nautical miles from the North Pole to the South Pole. This is all of Earth.
That's all globe stuff. What? He's just such a doof. Oh, such a doofus. All right. Well, here it is. I got it. I got that map. This one here. So yeah, and so I know where I went to this website, engagingdata.com. I got, here you go. Here it is. Here's the website. You can choose your projection. This is moleweed, MOLLWEIDE, moleweed. So there it is. So he chose the moleweed projection, and then look, he put it, he centered it. Oh geez, this doesn't work very well. Something like this, right? He centered it about here, right? But hold on, is that what your map looks like, or is this? Or is this what it looks like? Which one is it? It can't be this. This can't be what it's shaped like. And this be what it's shaped like. It can't be both of them. It's one thing. It doesn't morph. It's not Play-Doh Earth. Seriously. You think this is funny, but you watch him. He brings this website up.
This is it. You can actually get a square footage measurement off of this. This takes everything in the coordinate system into consideration.
Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you, Jason. I don't think anybody is any closer to understanding how Southern flights work on a flat Earth. They saw you put up globes and globe projection maps. All of your followers who have been in my comments, and I've seen your map, are wondering right now why you're not showing your actual map. And we all know why, which is that Southern flights don't work on it.
This is right here, a 2-pole projection of Earth.
This map.
So tell me which flight.
This map right here. So the flight from between Santiago and Sydney on this map. Let's say you're in Santiago, everybody. Let's say you're right here in Santiago. You see the cursor? Now the actual flight path goes closer to Antarctica during that flight. So here we go. We're in Santiago. Critical thinks about he got on the plane and he's going to fly home from our trip to Antarctica. And here he goes, getting on that plane, going off this way, and we get to, we got to the edge. What do we do now? Oh, what do we do? Waka, 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 waka. Boom! Show up over here. Went through the super tunnel, teleporter, Pac-Man Earth right there, and we get all the way back up to Sydney, Australia. Good job, awake souls. You got it. You got your Pac-Man Earth. This is it. This is right. But oh no, he changed it. It's now this one. And so you're like, oh, that doesn't work. I don't want to show that. That's embarrassing. I want to show this. Let's have this be our map. Why don't you have this be the map so that then it's a straight line, right? Maybe we can make it a straight line if we go here more, right? Something like this. There you go. That might be a straight line between them where you go across like that. Right? That would be it. Now this is the Earth. So the shape of the Earth changes based on what problem he's trying to get out of.
What you want to do, I'll do right now from South Africa over to Sydney. So
I just want to see
here.
I want to see your
here is the flight route. If an airplane is flying like this is how the coordinate system has to be drawn in order for it to be scale. Oh, let's see. It's on a different tab. I have to switch tabs to actually show you. Do you want to see? Because I can actually show it live right now.
Oh, I want to see it. I want to see a map that you think works. Yes.
All right. So let me reshare this with that tab. This system sucks.
The problem is you, Jason.
All right. So this is what most people are familiar with right here. This is a stereographic projection of Earth called the mole weed. This is what we're using. It can only be accurate to whatever longitude it's centered for, but what I'm going to do.
Why do you have to center it on a longitude? If it's an accurate 2-scale map of the flat Earth on a flat surface, everything would be accurate.
I will show you a south flight from South Africa to Sydney, Australia. And so wherever you click right here, the coordinate system has to redraw in order to actually get the correct sizes of the latitudes and longitudes. So as you click around here, this is the actual path that a plane, a boat, a swimmer that would take to go from Cape Town over to Sydney, Australia right here. And if you notice, because the coordinate system can only be drawn to scale to whatever it is that you're clicked on, you can never get to a boundary.
That makes no sense at all. That is so dumb. That's literally a globe. He's just showing a globe being projected onto a flat surface and clicking different places to put as the center of the projection. Oh. It's a globe, you idiot. So dumb. Yeah. He thinks, yeah, I'll just take a globe. I'll just warp it everywhere except for the one point that the observer is currently at. That's how.
Okay, real quick.
This isn't just an issue for us. This is an issue for every person in the world.
Hey, Jason.
Because this is Earth's coordinate system right here.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah.
When you were moving the map, at one point, half of the United States was split up. Can you please explain how that works? Half of the United States was on the left side, half the United States was on the right side. Is that
I've
what you're
already
saying?
explained it, but I'll explain it again to you.
Okay,
so
great.
the Earth's coordinate system, whenever you click on it, it is only drawing this area right here that is centered accurately to scale. If I click over here, right, it is drawing this area accurately to scale. If I click over here,
it's so
it is
dumb.
drawing this area accurately to scale. You don't have to worry about anything else around here because the only way Earth's coordinate system can be drawn is if you actually center it to yourself.
On a flat surface. Flat Earth debunked.
Okay.
So there is no possibility of getting to a border because the coordinate system, this is a virtual reality. I don't know if have you ever heard of a virtual reality before?
Yes, I have.
Do you understand how they work?
Yeah, it's things that don't exist in reality. It's not reality. Virtual reality is not reality. It's in the name. The name virtual. That's how you know it's not reality. If it was reality, it'd just be called reality, not virtual reality.
I do not know.
Okay, they have a 3D Cartesian coordinate system in it. And if you want to have a sky as we do, right, this is how it works. This is what they use. So it's existing technology already.
Okay. Hey, Jason, I appreciate it. I think I don't think what you said is going to be convincing to anybody, but we got to move on.
All right. Well, this is not a final debate. In fact, the document that I have gone through and examined all 12 of your experiments, and we have debunks of every single one of them. I had 12 debunks of the globe prepared, and then if you made it through all that, I was going to show you how the SPVR model explains.
Yeah, he wanted 3 hours. This derpling wanted to hijack 3 hours.
All 12 of your experiments.
Thank you.
But I guess we will have to do that on our own. And sayonara to you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Seriously, how can you be that dumb? Leslie Rohr, how can anyone be this stupid? Yeah. A flat map of a flat surface doesn't have any warping. And a virtual reality is a reality that does not exist. Anyway, there you go. There is number one. That is the top, like, first in line flat earther to try to destroy the earth, the globe, and he did it by saying that eclipses are computed using stellarium, a three-dimensional globe based solar system based method, right? And then showed a map that's a globe projection that is and could not possibly be flat earth. It makes no sense. Yep. Pac-Man wins again, I guess. All right. Fletcher Boy says, great videos from space during Starship flight. I already read that. CK says, Icy Spin Super Chat was Pac-Man. Waka Waka Waka. Oh, that's the one. Okay, I got it. Yep. Okay, thank you, Icy Spin. Kango44 says, if you add up the IQs of all the flighties that turned up to Will's thing, you get 0. Did read that. Tim Davidson says, why did the seaman cross the road? Because I put the wrong sock on this morning. Oh, gross. That's why it was crunchy. Tim Davidson says, egg greater than Dick Wayne. Egg gets laid. Oh, gosh. Jack Vetter says, no, Dick Wayne gets no quarter with me. His endless drivel in here, only to drop the ball so spectacularly once face to face. No, bad Dick. I'll say this. He showed up. Dearth is a pussy. He won't. Jim Daniels, brother to Jack, says, so if Dick Wayne climbs out of mom's basement and wanders into nature and hugs a tree, does gravity make them stick to it? Asking for Eric Bidet. Yeah, very nice. iSolder74 says they love their magic words from Flerf Daddies. Measured flat. Yeah. Tim Davidson says, I was fired the first day on the Tickle Me Elmo factory. I sew on 2 red cotton balls and sent it on. Apparently, I was supposed to give it 2 test tickles. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Evil Producer 1 says, does Awake Souls want a little cheese with his wine? Oh, he was so butthurt. I watched, so they had prepped their audience. They had asked their audience to go on, which is interesting because all the other flatties were running scared, right? Telling everybody, don't go on. And then they're like, here's how you go on. And they actually like got StreamYard and then did a live stream the day before and invited all of their viewer on. And and he came on and figured out how to use StreamYard, and well, a couple others showed up too. But they're sitting there like, how come nobody's coming into? How come nobody's like because nobody watches you. That's why, because you're insane and you're a human-shaped colostomy bag. Anyway, so but they gave instructions to people to go on the show and what to do. And one of the instructions they told them to say was, I'm not here to debate. But this is a debate. Why would you come on to a debate to not debate? What a dumb thing to do. iSolder74 says they just toss their toys out of the pram and spit a wobbly. So toss their toys out of the pram. Pram is a baby stroller to the Americans here. Kango44 says all the clowns that came to this could not keep to Will's format. They just ran their scripts. That's right, because Jason and Ronnie gave them a script that they were supposed to follow. Which, like, you get invited to somebody's place, you follow the rules. Right? Well, they didn't like how you did the rules. Well, then do your own place. Invite other people onto your show and put together the rules. Jay Donashi says, just curious, did the Jesus with cross heat activate? I have not tested that. In fact, I will do that tomorrow morning when I have coffee. So thank you, Jay Donashi, for that. Let me check here. That, just one thing. Nope. Okay. Just checking. My wife had called me just as it had started, just as I was like playing the intro song. She calls. I'm like, I just started. She's like, I'll talk to you later. Like, I'm curious now. What did you want? What was it? I'm just like burning me like. Let's see. Yep. All right. Oh yeah. Do you like the window here? So my wife is like, I think you should move your office to this other room. So negotiations are moving forward. Anyway, she's like, I want to see the window. So I took out the panel. So this whole back wall is all reclaimed pallet wood. And I put in this new window because the old window was bad. It's just falling apart. So this I put in last fall. And this is the bottom half. The top half also goes up there. And so this panel, you can see this little, right there, that little light line there, right here. And then over on right here, this gap here, that's this whole piece right here is another panel. So I take out this shelf, and then this panel just tips out. But I didn't want all of it. Anyway, what do you think? I don't think so. I don't like it. A wobbly is a pacifier. To spit a wobbly is to throw a tantrum. Okay, I didn't know what a wobbly was. I thought it was like just spitting a, hawking a loogie. So, iSolder74 says, oh, look, it's all the Pac-Manning. They get so angry when they're like, it's not a Pac-Man. It's more like asteroids. Oh, so instead of specific tunnels, then you go off the left side and show up on the right side. And on asteroids, you go off the top, you show up at the bottom. So if you're in Anchorage, Alaska, and you fly north, you'll wind up, you'll Pac-Man, waka, 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 all the way down to the southern part, and you'll be in Antarctica. Why didn't we go to Anchorage in order to get to Antarctica? Right? Astrocate says, I like how the window reflects the contents of your computer screen. I know, I thought about that. Like, you can see it. Yeah. You can see, what do we see in here? Is it this window? There it is. There's the window that I'm sharing. And then, yep. There you go. Hold on. Let me do this. My head's in the way. There you go. Close that. Didn't need that up there. We got Icy Spince's Tune. Why does Jason go to these lengths? It's insane. Well, Jason is insane. That's how. That's why. Jason is insane. You just watch one of his streams and you'll see the guy doesn't have any grasp on reality. He thinks he's one of the two witnesses, right? There's plenty of people that think they're Jesus, right? That's the top, right? Then the step down is thinking that you are one of the people prophesied in the Bible. That's what he thinks he is. It's just a step away from thinking he's Jesus. Maybe next week he'll think he's Jesus. Eddie Reese says, 4 years Tune is now my second longest relationship. Okay. Is your mom the first? I hope it's your wife. M. Schendler 49 says, Toonies United. Thank you, Matt. Matt, saw Matt last Wednesday at the meetup. It was a good meetup. Yadawat says Toonies United. And iSolder74 says he rage quit. In fact, he did kind of throw a little tantrum there, but he eventually will's like, yeah, all right, skitter off. Mark Beiser member super chat, 61 months, 5 years and 1 month. Says, I should have started drinking my whiskey before the Awake Souls segment started. Yeah, pound that whiskey, because we got Ronnie coming up. Jack Vetter says, this wasn't fair. They're fan. After all, mommies count as viewers too. Yeah, they invited all their fan to join them. Elisa says, is your new cup made with real dragons? I love it. Yes, it is 100% real dragons. Really cool mug. So, okay. We were talking earlier about camping. My son had gone camping this weekend, and they made hobo dinners. I don't know if you know what a hobo dinner is. I'll explain it to you. You take a bunch of stuff, whatever you're gonna cook, right? Typically hamburger, potato, some vegetables, some spices, some cheese, and you put it in tin foil. You wrap it all up in the tin foil, and you put it right on the fire, down in the coals, and you kind of flip it around and move it around, and with the stick and stuff every once in a while. It's a hobo dinner. I already gave away with the ingredients. But it's not a real hobo dinner if there isn't at least, 5% hobo. I see the whack trolls happening. Astrocate, yep, about the reflection. Raspberry Limbic Tad says, Gish galloping, the last refuge of dissemblers. Dissemblers? What is... That's a new one. Dissemblers. Hujar says, I missed the curtains on the window. Yeah, I know. My wife made those curtains. They were like map. She picked them out. Some curtains at the fabric store that had maps on them. Made those curtains for me. Super nice. But when I finished our bathroom in the basement, the curtains that she chose, not the curtains, the shower curtain, it is a curtain that she chose, is a map too. So pretty cool. Jack Fetter says, at least wifey let you stay inside. You could be sitting on a park bench in the backyard just as easily. I do when I travel. Over one squared. Got another super chat, and thank you for the money. Over one over n squared. I appreciate it. Brenda creates as gay femboy malware is real. ? I don't know what that's about, Brenda. Malware is real. But I don't know about that kind of malware. So, anyway, okay. Are you ready? So, all right. We're going to get our fill. So this next one, Raspberry Limbic Tad says, dissembler is someone who hides their real feelings or intentions or hides the true facts. I see. Okay. Nice. Okay. Here is...
Hey, how are ya?
The video that I named Yaha Waha Waha Hawa Haha Wawa Hawawaha's son. That's the one I named. So just for reference, Awake Souls and John, Jason and Ronnie, they think that if you don't pronounce God's name correctly or Jesus's name correctly, that you don't get in. It's a weird tiny little slice of religion that, like, why so dumb. Because that's what it's about, getting the pronunciation right. It's like some magical incantation. If you don't say it right, then you're out, dude. Anyway, that's why he's gone with that. It's a cult. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Hello? I can see you. I cannot hear you. You're muted.
Yeah.
Now you're
Now you
unmuted.
can hear me, right?
Yes, how are you? I'd like to put your name on the screen. What's your name?
Yahweh's son.
So yes, so Yeshua, YHWH, you're not supposed to say out loud. You should use words like Adonai. Yeah. So there's different things in Hebrew and Jewish Jewish culture that turns out in Firefox it crashed too. About you're not supposed to pronounce it. So there's only consonants in it. There's no vowels in it. So how was it pronounced is a bit lost to history because the tradition was that you don't pronounce it. And so they don't give the pronunciation guides to know how to pronounce it, as I understand it. So anyway, but they think it's so important to pronounce it that they have to get it right and correct everybody that gets it wrong, they think.
Yahweh's son. Okay.
You know our father. You know who our father creator is, right? YHWH.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's Yahweh.
Okay. There's a lot of different pronunciations.
Just to be clear.
Yeah, and he knows. How does he know? Because somebody told him and he believed it. And now he's an expert because somebody told him and he believed what he was told to believe.
Christ is not our father. He is a separate being. So just want to make that known.
He's the son.
He is the son. Exactly.
Okay, so do you want me to call?
So I think, and I don't get into their particular cult too much, but I think that they do reject the Trinity, which is something that isn't very well accepted within mainstream Christianity. You know, they wouldn't want to ever be anything normal.
Call you Yahweh's son?
Bro, you can just call me Jerry.
Why didn't he just use Jerry? Why not just Jerry?
That'll work.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, cool. So do you want to give a quick introduction and let people know where to find you?
Well, my name is Jerry Albert. I live in Lawton, Oklahoma. I really don't have much of a social media presence.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's sad for that.
I like to get involved in live chats and things like that. And I've been following Ronnie and Jason for like 7, almost 8 years now.
7 or 8 years wasted.
And I have to agree with them that our reality is virtual. And the proof of that is when you understand that we are spirit beings and we are in these meat suits. It only makes sense that our reality is virtual.
No, it doesn't make any sense at all. Because in our meat suits, fine name, we have the non-virtual reality. We have the real reality, the physical reality, the one that we're in, right? We can touch our hands and touch other things and touch people, and right? These things really exist. They have material properties. They're not virtual. Virtual means they don't actually exist.
And there's a lot of proof of it. You know, these people that talk about a spinning ball and planets, those are not planets. Those are lights in the sky.
Oh, you have evidence for that? Do you have? No, of course not.
They're luminaries that our Father placed there in the heaven for signs, seasons, days, and years.
Yeah, it's poetry. Max says my suit came with extra meat. But just because it's on your kneecaps, that nobody needs to hear about that, Max.
So that's kind of in a nutshell, who I am and what I stand for.
Okay, hey, Jerry.
Sure.
What is your single best piece of evidence that we live in a virtual reality? Please.
Oh, this is going to be good. He's going to give some evidence.
Your single best. Go right to the best.
Clouds behind the sun.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
You expected more, didn't you? You expected more. Yeah. Flat earthers don't understand cameras. They take a camera, no solar filter, look at the sun with it when it's near clouds. Some clouds are thick, some clouds are thin. The thick clouds you can't see through, so it'll block the sun. The thin clouds, the sun completely overshines them. And so when those thin clouds get in front of the sun, you don't see them because the sun overpowers them. They can't understand this. And when I talked to Jason a couple years ago, I said, you need to put on a solar filter. So what did he do? He's like, well, I did that. Here's my video with the solar filter. He took a digital filter in post-processing and called it a solar filter. No. A solar filter is something you put on the front of the lens of the camera. He's not smart enough to get that. He can't.
Okay. So, wow. Okay. So thank you for telling me that. So if there are clouds behind the sun, that means we live in a virtual reality. What if it was a physical cloud behind the sun?
Okay, so you're going to tell me that that ball in the sky is a big ball of fire and it
No, not fire.
interacts with clouds? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I'm just trying to tell you that saying clouds behind the sun is not evidence that we live in a virtual reality.
Sure it is. Everybody tells you that that sun is a big ball of fire in the sky.
Nobody says that.
When you understand it is a two-dimensional light. That's what it is. And
How does he know that? Because somebody told him to believe it. This is just such a perfect example of indoctrination. He was instructed to believe this, and he did because he was told to believe it.
To explain virtual reality to you would be really hard for me to do.
I know. Exactly, because woo.
But I can say this. Don't you think it's kind of odd that at this point in time, we have virtual reality where you put this thing on your head and you can actually interact with things in front of your face?
It's not odd at all. It's pretty cool. And it's all virtual. None of it exists.
That aren't even there.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty wild when you think about it. It really is.
Yeah, it's a screen.
That's right. Don't you think it's pretty crazy that this thing happens? Oh yeah, that's crazy.
So
my
Jerry, let's say you're right. The sun is not what they say it is, and it's actually LED. So it doesn't have any heat. That could.
Well,
hold on,
I didn't say
Jerry.
that.
Jerry.
It does.
Jerry.
Okay,
Jerry.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm trying to show you that you're making an illogical argument, right? Clouds behind the sun, if true, by the way, which I don't think it is, and I can prove that in a second, doesn't mean we live in a virtual reality. That it doesn't mean that.
Okay, well, you claim that you're a pastor, right?
Yes.
It's changed the topic instantly. This is typical flat earther, right? They paint themselves into a corner. It gets shown that they're in a corner. They deflect.
Okay, so you believe we have a creator, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you believe what the scriptures say. That they say that we were spirit beings that existed before the earth ever existed.
No.
Yeah, it does say that we were spirit before the earth was ever brought into being.
I did not
We
exist.
existed.
Well, this Jim Davidson, post-rapture pet care insurance. I have a team of dedicated sinners on staff to care for your pets after you go to heaven. Call now. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's pretty funny. I mean, I'm not supposed to laugh at that, am I? I'm laughing at it. It's pretty good.
Before the
You
earth.
don't agree with that?
I did not exist before the earth.
Oh, of course you did. You're a spirit being.
And hold on, a spirit being
Of course, they have wacky theology.
is not virtual reality.
My point being this, that we are spirit in these suits. And yes, it seems very physical.
And how does that explain the sun making it VR? Different topic. He's completely lost the topic.
To us.
Okay.
That is the way our Father brought this into existence. For us all to experience it very similarly. I mean, I don't care if you're the brokest man on earth or you're the richest man on earth. You experience the realm pretty much the same way. Unless you happen to be disabled, you can't see, or you can't, I don't know, you can't physically move. So if you have your five senses, you are, you're experiencing it just the same way everybody else is.
Okay. All right. Question.
Had nothing to do with anything. Just in my day, we put a yellow onion on our belt.
For you from my list. Okay.
Sure.
What are the Arctic and Antarctic circles on a flat Earth?
Circles. Circles. He said circles. Listen to his answer.
Oh, bro. The Arctic Circle. Well, to be honest, on this flat realm, there's the northern pole and a southern pole. I don't.
Pole. No, he said circle. You talking pole. Dude, this guy.
know if you'd call them that just because they say they're circles. There are two separate poles in our reality. There's a North Pole and a South Pole. So if you want to say that's a North circle and a South circle, I guess, can you explain why the stars in the Southern Hemisphere rotate in the opposite direction of the stars in the Northern Hemisphere? Can you explain that?
Yes, that's because we live on a globe.
Oh my gosh. He just identified something that's mandatory on a globe and said, can you explain that? As if it was going to be an issue.
How could living on... What? That doesn't even make sense, bro.
So
we live on a globe, so the stars in the south turn... Let's see, the north, they turn clockwise, south, counterclockwise, or have I got that backwards?
Jerry, this is important, okay?
Sure.
If you grab, do you own a globe?
No, because why would I?
It's a good way to understand our world.
Yeah.
So,
well, bro, that's just indoctrination that they teach kids in school. That's why when you enter school, the first thing you see when you enter a classroom, the first time in your life, they show you a globe because they are lying to you. We are not, there is no proof whatsoever that we are moving, spinning, doing anything.
Hey, Jerry.
And you claim you're a pastor.
And all he has is denial. Notice that? Just denial. Right. So what do we have as evidence that the Earth is rotating? Of course, MCToon.net/spin has a list of measurements of the Earth's daily rotation. MCToon.net/Earth around the sun. I'm going to have to rename it to orbit. Has multiple different measurements of the orbit of the Earth around the sun. So there's the evidence for it. No flat earther addresses that evidence. They never actually do. You send them that evidence, gone. They don't. They change the topic, just like this guy.
And you read scriptures, right? The scriptures state that the earth is placed on its foundations, it is fixed and immovable, and it has four corners. Now, I guess you could say the four corners are north, south, east, west.
Wait, it also says it's a circle. Wait, Ms. Perspective was here. Ms. Perspective. It's the Bible says the earth is a circle and it says it has four corners. Which is it? It can't be both. It can't be both. One has to be figurative or both have to be figurative. But you don't want it to be figurative. You want it to be literal. Oh, what a conundrum you've put yourselves in.
But I don't think so. I think it's kind of literal. There are four corners, and at the end game, there's four angels standing at the four corners. So,
but what map did Derpling put up? He put up this one. Where are the four corners on this one? Come on, Grandpa. There's no corners there. This is the map that your guide put up. There's no corners. Oh gosh, Jason's gonna have to take you up behind the woodshed and set you straight, young man. I mean, old coot.
Hey Jerry.
Go ahead, bro.
This is cool. Okay, we're gonna do a little exercise. Okay. Can you tell what way I'm spinning this?
I like how he's like, we're gonna do a little exercise. He's just talking to him like a child, because that's what his brain is.
Is it clockwise or counterclockwise for you?
That's counterclockwise.
Okay, watch.
I'm looking at my screen.
Watch carefully. Okay, I'm going to keep spinning it in the same direction. Now, what is it?
You're going to flip it around and it's going to be spinning the other way.
Correct.
Bro, that's just dumb.
No, that's
just dumb.
That's why the stars. Now, just so you know, Jerry, this is cool because almost all flat earthers that I've ever heard say that there is no south celestial pole and that the stars do not rotate around it in the opposite direction of the north. So you and I are on the same page here.
I've known about the way the celestial works in the south because like 7 years.
Wait, is he going to tell us? He's known about it. Certainly he's going to tell us.
Years ago, I actually saw a video of the way the stars move in the southern hemisphere compared to the northern hemisphere, and at the center globe, at the equator, they go pretty much straight over top of your head because the way they spin in different directions, that makes it at the center of the realm, they kind of go straight over top of your head. The only way to actually find that out would be to go to the equator and have someone film the star patterns at the equator.
People have done that.
So, Jerry, is there a map that you ascribe to?
A map?
Yeah.
Well, there is a version. I really paid a lot of attention to Awake Souls and
I really paid a lot of attention to them.
Limitless when they first came out with their map. I have to admit, it took me a little while to get on board with it. And as it's progressed over the years, they really got a good grasp of our reality and how it works.
No.
And I think anyone who's not paying attention to them is cheating themselves. Because Ron and Jason, I got to give it to them. They're younger men than me. I'm getting up there.
Yeah, don't say, Grandpa. Well, good job. You figured that one out.
And I really have a lot of respect for them because they do their diligence. They put in the time and effort. And guess what? They don't get paid for it. They spend their own money. They're not out here trying to sell coffee mugs or T-shirts or any of that crap.
That reminds me, if anybody wants to buy any of my T-shirts, you just Google Fourth Wall MCToon and you can find some of my T-shirts there.
All these other so-called flat earthers. And by the way, these people that are on YouTube that say they're flat earthers, they're just in it for the money. 99% of them are in it for the money. They figure, hey, that's an easy way to get paid. And that's really what it boils down to.
Now, there are flat earthers that do it for the money. And you can find them on Facebook. I think Facebook is doing pretty well for a couple of flat earthers, like Conscious Media 369. I think he's making some money. And some others. There's a short list of flat earthers that are making money doing flat earth stuff, though. I think most flat earthers are just dumb.
Like most of those people that have faded into the background at this point, I'll give it to Ron and Jason. They have not faded into the background, and they're not going to. I can tell you, they are going to be here sharing the truth as they find it. And just as an example.
Okay, this all five of this guy's teeth are going to have to be cleaned up after this.
And I really hate to bring this story up, but I'm going to because I know Ron and Jason are listening. Several years ago, when I first ran across them, they said that it was Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And I said, listen, I think if you're going to say Yahweh, it should be Yahweh. because I think
my
the last
gosh.
day is just as important as the first day.
What the hell does this have to do with anything?
It took about 8 months, but they did eventually come around to the fact that YHWH is Yahweh,
Oh my gosh.
not Yahweh. And then, so I'm just saying,
Hey, Jerry.
if you can prove what
No, why? What? Oh. Just like the time I caught the ferry to Shelbyville, I needed a new heel for my shoe. So I decided to go to Morganville, which is what we call Shelbyville in those days. So I tied an onion to my belt, which was the style at the time. Now to take the ferry costs a nickel. And in those days, nickels has pictures of bumblebees on them. Give me 5 bees for a quarter, you'd say. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, the important thing was that I had an onion tied to my belt at the time. You couldn't get white onions because of the war. The only thing you could get was them yellow onions.
they're saying is wrong.
Yeah.
With evidence.
Yeah.
They'll change up.
No,
Hey, Jerry.
no evidence will convince them.
Change up.
Hey,
Sure,
Jerry.
bro.
Can you see my screen? Let me share it real fast. Hold on.
I'm looking at you on the TV too.
Can you see what I just shared?
I'm looking at you on the TV too.
Yeah, that's the map. That's the map that they used to show.
Used to.
Okay, so
That's
this
one of the first. That's one of the first versions of it, I believe.
Okay, cool. So since they didn't present their model, quick question for you. If I'm over here on the right-hand side of the map and I get to the edge, what happens?
You come back in on the other side.
Okay, so you teleport over here.
Well, it doesn't work that way. That's why I'm telling you.
But it has to. Because when you're on the side, when you're over here, how do you show up over there? It doesn't work that way. Of course it works that way. This is the map. It has to work that way. And if you're at the top, right? Here's Anchorage. Where is it? Up here, right? And you want to go to Antarctica, you just go here, you follow the line of islands there. Pop right there. You get to that top and go waka 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 waka, and you're here, right? You're down on the bottom edge here. Make sure it's visible, right? And then right, you're like, all right, keep on going. Do the rest of the way to Antarctica. So it would have been so much cheaper for us to start at Anchorage, right? And oh, sorry, it's not Pac-Man, it's asteroids. Like that helps. It doesn't help. It doesn't help to make it asteroids instead of Pac-Man. It's still magical teleportation. Oh gosh, they are the dumbest. The dumbest of the dumbest flat earthers. They have to be. This is so ridiculous. Look how Alaska. I mean, Alaska's already the biggest state by far, but now Alaska's bigger than the United States. The whole of the United States. Look at that. It's and this chain of islands, the Aleutian Islands here. Look how big they are. They're giant islands. In reality, they're tiny, but here they think they're giant islands. And of course, it's so super simply dumb. Oh gosh.
We live in a virtual reality.
Well,
Because there are people that will tell you you can just keep going forever.
Mm-hmm.
And you just come back in on the other side. Now, you don't know that that's
It makes no sense.
happening, but that is actually what is happening.
Okay, so if you get to the top of the map, you teleport to the bottom.
Now, I wouldn't know. I would guess.
Oh, he wouldn't know because he wasn't told what to know by Jason and Ronnie. But Jason and Ronnie will instruct him what to believe, and then he'll believe it.
That's probably so.
Okay.
Considering it's the icy regions are at the north and the south.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how it works, but it's pretty obvious that we have an international dateline for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
For a reason. It was arbitrary. It wasn't picked for a reason. It was, hey, let's put Greenwich at 0 And whatever's at 180, the other two directions, right, wherever they go to 180, whatever that is, don't know. It was whatever. Let's just have, it just happened. It could be
when
anywhere.
you cross that date line, depending on your direction, you either jumping ahead into the next day or you're jumping back into the day before.
That's not teleporting.
Which is weird. Hey, believe me, it's all very weird. I'm not saying that it's not.
Hey, Jerry.
Well, Ms. Perspective wants some globe proofs. You did come to the right channel. So I'll grab this. You're going to love this. This is going to be fantastic. Let me grab it here. And there it is. Okay. So there it is. The Earth having a radius of 6,371 kilometers. When at 40,000 feet elevation, sorry for switching units here. I should use sheep units for everything, but when at 40,000 feet elevation, then there must be a dip of the horizon of 3.4 plus or minus 0.1 degrees. Okay. And what do we see when you do that? There it is. This is my personal measurement right there. You can see the elevation angle. So first of all, let's get this, the crosshairs right there. Now this is right at the sun. The sun is just coming up. So this isn't the whole sun. This is the glare of the edge of the sun. So right in the middle there is where the horizon is going to be, right? These things above it, those are called clouds. They're nearer than the horizon. That's why you see them above, right? Anyway, so this is bisecting the sun. And so that's going to give us the horizon, right? You're going to love this. You're going to love this. 3.4 degrees is the dip right there. That is what the globe predicts and requires. There you go. There you go. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right.
I am going to say is this, that if you don't understand how the sky works, now you can zoom
No flat earther does.
in on the so-called planets, and you will see that they are not solid objects.
You will see when you zoom in on them that they are solid objects, because you can make out detail when with Mars, even with a P1000, which isn't a fantastic at high zoom. The chromatic aberration struggles and it has a hard time focusing. But even with the P1000, you can actually see the ice cap of Mars.
They aren't. They are lights in the sky that our Father Creator placed there for signs, seasons, days, and years. And I'll just keep harping on that. Our reality is virtual, and I think we're getting very close to the end of the game here, because now...
We're getting to the end of the game here, because the virtual reality game that doesn't exist.
Society has a thing called virtual reality.
Hey, Jerry.
Which is weird.
Jerry, what
I mean,
what do
have you ever... let me ask you a quick question.
Jerry,
have you ever
Jerry, what do you think of Ronnie and Jason's claim that they're the two witnesses mentioned in Revelation 11?
Bro, I don't know who any of us are.
Wow, that's a great comeback.
I know there is a remnant of actual Hebraic people.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say Hebraic, I'm not talking about that J-E-W word. I'm talking actual Hebraic. Christ himself was a Hebraic man.
Mm-hmm.
So, that scenario, I
So anti-Semitic on top of it, right?
think that's more for the false Christ that's going to come on the scene. I think that's what that whole...
Oh, Ms. Perspective, I just showed the evidence that you asked for. Are you sea lioning? Ms. Perspective says, I have had an open mind and so far have seen no evidence of a spinning ball. Well, I just showed you that the Earth is a globe. Right? You want to see another one? I bet you want to see another one. All right. I'll give you another one. Here we go. All right. So here it is. Spherical excess. If you want to know what spherical excess is, on the surface of a sphere, when you have a triangle that follows the surface of the sphere, and this is a diagram of one here, right? So you have a vertex, you have a corner here, corner over there, and then you do a straight line across the surface. So a straight line across the surface is curved in three-dimensional space, but the surface of a sphere is two-dimensional. So within that two-dimensional coordinate system, it is a straight line. Okay, so that's what each side of the triangle is. Now, when you take this spherical triangle, this is a real part of geometry, then these angles, and you sum them up on the surface of a sphere, those three, when you sum them, it must sum to more than 180 degrees. That is how spherical triangles work. So you can go to mctoon.net/SE, and then you can find the link to here, this Wolfram Math World, defining how it's done, bunch of the different things, and specifically this E is what they call the spherical excess right there. The sum of the angles of a spherical triangle is between pi and 3 pi radians, or 180 degrees and 540 degrees. So there you go. That's how it works. So all we need to do then is measure a triangle on the surface of the Earth with enough precision and enough area inside that circle to get to differentiate whether or not there is a spherical excess. And in fact, then people have done that. And in the survey, the transcontinental triangulation and the American arc of the parallel, this exact thing was done, and that's right here. One of these, it's the second from the bottom, starting on page 63 of that book, that publication. We can see these spherical triangles that we're talking about. But let's jump to. I'm just going to jump to one here. Now, if these triangles sum to less than 180 degrees, or exactly 180 degrees, or more than 540 degrees, then it's not a globe, right? That would. But if it is, then it's evidence for the globe. All right, this isn't coming up. Come on. Oh, it's a little dogging because it's a 900-page document. So, all right. There it is. Okay. I'm just hunting around. I don't remember offhand which particular page has the necessary the measurements I'm talking about. But this was a survey done before 1900. So it's very old, but they use really high quality instruments. They used theodolites that are 18 inches long, so rather significant sized theodolite. All right. And they're precise enough. They measure better than arcsecond in their measurements. So, all right. This is Salt Lake. These are vertical circle. All right, we need horizontal. And is this vertical circles again? Oh, come on. Vertical. So we do the same with vertical. We get reciprocal zenith angles in this, but I started talking about spherical excess. There we go. Is this it? Oh my goodness, we're back. It's still vertical. And they group these by where they're at by a network of triangles. So they should be in proximity to each other. Here's a table. Vertical again. Here's a table. One of these will get it. Yeah, all right. Tell you what. I'll let you look at on your own time, but I will pull up for you the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet has all of them typed in. People typed in all of them. And here is the entirety of them, all of these angles here. And so we can look here. Here is the column that is the spherical excess. You can see, so the spherical excess is how much more than 180 it is. And all of these are more than 180. All of them. We have some that are a good amount more than 180, 77 arc seconds more than 180 degrees. So there you go. Every single one of these is evidence for the globe. There you go. There you go. Now, if you just say nuh-uh, then you're a liar. Right? Then your mind is not open. You are not interested in truth, Ms. Perspective. All right.
Third temple's about.
So you think it's possible that Ronnie and Jason are the two witnesses in Revelation 11?
Well, I don't think any of us actually know who we are. Our Father can do anything.
Jerry, they claim it.
Well, they did at one time kind of think they might be, only because of this.
They did at one time kind of think they might be. Wow.
Because they were the only ones that were actually out here searching for the actual truth that I personally could find.
Yeah, real quick, Jerry, listen to this. It's 10 seconds long.
And Ronnie James Harris and myself, Jason William Laufenberg, are not only acting as the prosecutors in this trial, but we maintain that we are the two witnesses spoken of in the Bible.
So there you go. They did claim it.
So I tell you what, let's do this then. How about this? If Ronnie and Jason are still in this broadcast that we're having here, why don't you invite one of them back on and ask them that question yourself?
That's fair. All right. Hey, I appreciate you coming, Jerry.
All right, bro.
All right.
Hey, are you kicking me out, or can I say one last thing before I leave?
You can say one last thing.
All right. It's going to be about onions on his belt. All right. If you want to see what he said, you can go watch the original video on the Final Experiment YouTube channel. Yep. That guy's a bit nuts. All 5 of his teeth were flapping fast. Anyway, all right, let me see here. We got Jay Donish. He says, sorry to tell you this, Toon. I saw 2 mugs that I thought would be perfect for you. So why just send 2 mugs? So I got 4 more mugs coming soon. That Jay sent these for. This one, and I got the other 3 back here. Oh yeah, they're I had them hanging up on these hooks. I have hooks up here. But then over on this side, I put them on the bottom shelf there. So thank you, Jay. I really appreciate it. Jack Better says, can't get in if you don't pronounce the name correctly. Isn't that a rule from Fight Club? Yeah, or speakeasies from the 20s also. What was he the one dancing with the raccoon in your video? Yeah, let's say that he is. Let's say that Yaha's son is Jerry. Let's just call him Jerry. Jerry's the guy dancing with the raccoon. Burnham says, long time no see, Toon. Thanks for continuing the good fight. Canceling grift certificates. I like that. Canceling grift certificates. Huge R says, TFE has taught Will that a lot of Christians are nutters. God does not ensure sanity. I agree. There are lots of nutters. Plenty of them are. I don't even want to give them the dignity of saying that they're Christians because, my goodness, they go off on the weeds. I'll say they're Christian adjacent. Evil Producer One says, my meat suit has a sausage. Well, it's about half of meat suits have them. Jay Donashi again says, these are the last 4 mugs I'm going to send you. I promise. That sounds like there's more. I don't mind. I don't know. Whatever. Jack Better says, God help me. I mean, literally, please smite thy moron. That's, he doesn't. He's not. All right. Hold on. I got this. I got this. We got iSolder74 says a light can't pass in front of the sun, aka Venus and Mercury. Yeah. What are Venus and Mercury? It's virtual reality. Seriously. Oh. Extra J says if Yahweh or a variant is part of someone's name on the internet, YouTube, Discord, or other forums, the crazy will be strong. Anyone change my mind? No, yeah. Just similarly, if they have truth in their name, they hate truth for the most part. There's exceptions, but you can start with that as the default. Rick to Bits says, member for 18 months, says Yahawaha son, Yahaha ha hawaha. Yeah. So, M. Shedler 49 says, goodness gracious, great ball of fire and clouds. Yeah. Of course, Flerfs still post on Facebook videos of what they think is the sun inside clouds. And without realizing that they also require the sun to be traveling at least 1,000 miles an hour through those clouds, that it debunks the other part of their position. That is the 4th law of Flerf. So Burnham says Flerf reality seems impossible because it's actually made with beyond meat space. Evil Producer One says, is the rapture a meat suit sausage party? I don't think so. Raspberry Limbic Tad says, noted, not a Pastor Will Duffy. I don't know what that's about. So he did not. So Will, the guy that was the pastor at his church, died a bit unexpectedly, and they didn't have a pastor, and Will's like, I'll do it. Right. He was already retired from his regular stuff. He already had money. And so he volunteered his time to do that. Right. So he's not ordained. So if that's the definition of pastor, then yeah, he's not ordained. But there's many people that are pastors that people don't generally argue with that are also not ordained. And ordination is only, so recent. And before that, how did you determine who was a pastor? I don't know. So, but I don't know where you're going, what that's about, Raspberry Limbic Tad. Anyway, Itoria says, I've come to restore balance. Oh, the dumbass in the video said he's not a pastor. Oh, yeah. So it says Raspberry Limbic Tad. But so, yeah, I mean, I think if you are the guy that's normally, at a church that gives the sermons and does pastoral things, I think that's it. I think that's the qualification. So, right. iSolder74 says, no true Scotsman. Of course, they love that one. Or was it me? I mean, I kind of did. I just didn't want to. I said adjacent. I said Christian adjacent if they've got that in their name, right? But yeah, I'm not holding that position strongly. Maybe there are some that aren't that far nuts. Evil Producer 1 says, how can old man Yamaha have two Papa Flerfs younger than him? Oh, old man Yamaha. Oh, that's so good. Bits of Rage says, smash that like button, everyone. Yeah, so that's how YouTube figures out whether or not, one of the ways, whether or not to show this to other people. So if there's a YouTube channel that you like, there's a few things that you can do to help them. I'm not saying this for me, saying this for whoever it is that you like. Give a thumbs up to the video. Watch it all the way to the end. Live streams are a little different, but if they do, pre-recorded videos, go all the way to the end. Right? Let it go to the end. Comment on that video, and exchange comments. A whole bunch of comments is better. And then also be sure to subscribe to the channel. Those are the ways that you can support the channels that you like. So do that, and then YouTube will come to think that more people should watch that stuff. So, all right, we got one more, and it's Ronnie. It's Ronnie. So first was Jason, now is Ronnie. So now, if you don't know, Ronnie is the other guy of the two that think that. Let's see. Let's get the mappy poo. That this map is the right map, or maybe it's maybe it's this map. Don't know. Sometimes it's this map. Sometimes it's this map. How could we know? Right? It's a Play-Doh map. It's whatever they need it to be at the moment to get out of the problem that they put themselves in. Right? Look at that. Can we make Antarctica? Can I make it happen? I don't think I can make Antarctica into a ring around the outside. That's too bad. Yeah, whatever problem they're currently struggling with, this map will work, because then the distances work for Congo, mostly just at the point, right? So right at this point here, all of the distances are right, and everything else, well, the distances are wrong everywhere else, right? Plus you got a Pac-Man, right? Think about it. I mean, if this is what the current map is, man, you're screwed if you're in the United States. Right, look at there, Canada. What a mess! I mean, can you imagine like the tectonic movement? What happens when Ronnie and Jason move around? Just nutso. So all right. Did Ms. Perspective look with an open mind at the spherical triangles? I'm guessing no. All right. Anyway, here we come with Ronnie.
Ronnie, how are you?
I'm great. I'm really grateful to be here today. I'm a little disappointed, though, Will, I have to say.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, for the last year, I've been deeply disappointed in you, because instead of standing for the truth, right, and creating this excellent experiment where people could have got involved, what you and your friends have done, MCToon, Dave McKeegan, all of them, Fight the Flat Earth, all of them, without limit, all of them have done is mocked, ridiculed, and pushed people away from actual honest debate.
Well, what, you didn't have any honest debate. You're incapable of honest debate. In honest debate, you would present a evidence for flat. You wouldn't bring a globe map to a debate where you thought that the Earth was flat. You instantly lose. That's not a debate, right? That's not an honest debate. That's an auto losing debate. Seriously, like, and then to whine and cry about the format because you didn't like the format. Wah, poor baby.
You've created a false dichotomy where you only had two models of reality. One, the glurf, and the other one, the flurf. Okay, so the easy way to point this out is.
But obviously this map is wrong. This is a ridiculous map. This map deserves to be mocked and ridiculed. Right? There's no other way to come at this map. The people that think this map is correct are insane. Laugh at them. Everybody laugh at this map. Anybody that thinks the Earth is actually this, laugh at them. It's fine. It's okay. They are not sane. They don't have a grip on reality. They don't have a place at the table to talk about the shape of the Earth. This is ridiculous. The people that think that this is instead now the map of reality, this one here, mock them. They have earned the mockery, right? Because you don't teleport when you cross Africa, or when you cross the bridge in Constantinople, right? Or is it Istanbul? Or is it Constantinople? If you have a date with the girl in Constantinople, she'll be waiting in Istanbul. Anyway, so that's if you think, oh, let me explain the distances by doing this, you're not sane. You get mocked. You deserve it. Right? You should get nothing but mockery. Let me see. There you go. That's a little bit like their version. Their version here, there. Nah, it's not the same. Anyway, all right.
Is if you were tough, if you were an actual fighter for the truth, you wouldn't have had to create a single pole pressurized pizza dough model to knock down like you were simply bowling with safety rails in the gutters, right? Reality is much more grand than that. Tonight.
So for reference, the majority of flat earthers have that, right? There's just two nutcases that have your map. There's 175 years of people saying, using the Dirt Pizza map that you mock appropriately, right? So all of the fans like Ms. Whatever and Ms. Perspective here and Ronnie and Jason, when you're like, oh, you're mocking us, well, Ronnie, it's okay. You have your own mocking name for the pressurized pizza planet. That's fine. I agree with you on that. That's mockery. It's the correct mockery. You earned it, though, because your map is more ridiculous.
It really isn't about testing models, Will, or examining data. You've created this structured interview system. What this really is your exit interview, right? You've already announced that you're walking away. You're done. This will be the last thing. You're going to have clips of this. They're going to go in your Joe Rogan starred podcast. You're going to walk away. All you've done is mock innocent people, hide the actual truth. And in a sense, Will, you've already lost. You lost the debate before you even started it, because while you quit and move on, we're never going to stop. We don't retire. We're never going to stop. We're going to change people. The truth doesn't take retirement. We stay and we're going to fight forever and ever. So,
hey, Ms. Perspective, you're not searching for truth. You need to look at spherical excess. And if you don't look at it, it's because you're not looking for truth. Ms. Perspective says, I'm not a fan. Oh, I don't care. I search for truth. Do you call your mods and watchers fans? Doesn't matter. You are not searching for truth if you don't look at spherical excess and rectify that with your whatever derpy map you think the Earth is, right? If you can't do that, you are not searching for truth if you refuse to look.
Now that I've had my intro, when you actually have a debate, it needs to be structured in an honest way. Nothing that you've done here, Will Duffy, has been honest or structured in any way. And this is a call out to Fight the Fat Earth, Dave McKeegan, Ryan, MCToon, every single one of you. You are all openly challenged to actual debates. We'll go on any platform with any moderator. You guys can get as many super chats as you want. We do all this for absolute free. So you've set up today this supposed quote unquote your final debate, right? Well, which it is, thankfully, you can exit off the stage because all you've done is mock, ridicule, censor, and block. You've blocked YD. You've blocked half the people who watch our content because we believe in.
Now, just for reference, they block on their channel aggressively. I'm blocked on their channel. I've never said anything that should be blocked on their channel. I didn't accuse any people in their audience of being other genders, but they block me. So, crybaby, Ronnie, you don't get to complain about being blocked when Jason blocks everybody, right? You need to not be the hypocrite if you're gonna whine about that.
And another version of reality. And guess what, Will? It has two poles on a flat station and a plane. So today you come up, let's do your debate. I'm going to come into your ring and your rules. Tell me the rules. Let's do it.
Thanks, Ronnie. I appreciate it. By the way, for the record, I'm against the mocking and I'm against the ridicule. And I have said, huh?
Everyone's witnessed it. You're lying.
Anyway, Ms. Perspective claimed that the globe doesn't have a map. But this is the 2-scale map of the globe right here. Right? So yeah, I do right here. This is the 2-scale map of the globe. It is in the shape of a globe, and it is an n/1 scale representation. Right? So you can take the scale on here, you can take a string, measure across the length here, you can bring that to the scale and say, well, the scale says that 1 centimeter is equal to this many kilometers. And there you go. And you can use this to do rough, because it's to scale, it's rather small scale, but you can get the distances between positions on the surface of the Earth. With this right here, you get it accurately. You can't do that. No flat Earth map can do that. In fact, there's only one that can. The one that can is already known. So since it's already known, there actually is no other option. And it is a map. The globe is a map. It is a 1 to n scaled map. Now, when you take and you flatten it out, then the fact that there is no 1 to n scaled map on a that's flattened is evidence that it is actually a falsification of flat Earth, right? And the fact that we do have the ability to use this to get distances is evidence that the Earth is a globe. So there you go. Anyway, Ms. Perspective is going to just keep lying. So you said you're going to leave. Bye-bye.
Fine.
Oh, okay.
You've been a jackass, treated everyone like absolute crap the entire time. So don't try to pretend that you haven't. Everybody in the whole world, all of creation is watching. Continue.
Okay. So,
I asked you for the rules. Let's have the debate your way. You want to ground and pound, you want to stand and spar. You've created 3 systems of a debate, right? I didn't know about it until today. Is that true?
yes. Okay.
You just came out with the rules today. So
That's correct.
Tell me the rules. Let's do it. I'm ready.
Now, like I said at the beginning of this, I could roll into a debate with rules like this on the fly, right? I haven't been doing this as long as Ronnie and Jason, so they should be able to handle it just fine.
Okay. Awesome. I am going to ask you a question from my list here.
Sure.
Okay. Cool. If you were in the southern hemisphere, how would you figure out the cardinal directions north and south?
How easy of a question. So obviously I would cite my location by using the sigma octans region of the sky at 180 degrees south. Next question. On a flat stationary plane.
Okay. I need to see that, by the way.
I told you. Let's continue. What's your next question?
Well, hold on a second. Let's look here. So, if you're in, let's say you're here, on the, in Africa here, right? You're on the Tropic of Cancer here in the Sahara Desert, and you're going to look at the sigma octans. Well, sigma octans is the GP of sigma octans is right next to the South Pole, the South Geometric Pole. So it's going to be part of the time going here, right, on this side, and part of the time sigma octans will teleport over to this side, or Pac-Man over to this side. And so depending on what time of day you are able to see the stars, or where the stars are, right? because sigma octants isn't smack in the middle, right? It's a little bit off of the celestial pole. So part of the time it will be over on the west side, and part of the time it'll be over on the right. But no matter what, when you get your angle to sigma octants, you're going to get this angle here, which is west southwest, or part of the time you're going to get it east southeast. So it's going to vary throughout the night which direction is south using that method. Wow, that really sucked. That really is a problem for you. I mean, same thing if you're here in seriously, it's so dumb. It's like you didn't even think about it. If you're in England, you're going to get the same thing. It's going to be this diagonal angle half the night, and the diagonal angle the other direction half the night. What a mess. What a failure.
Well, no, okay, that's fine. I want to see what
all of your questions.
No, this is great. You just described the globe. If there's a flat
Earth,
Earth,
believe that there can be. Hold on, I did not in any way. And now you're using the word. I'm not allowed to say that word you said, right? Or is that in your next section? So first off, just because you believe there's two poles in the sky, that doesn't intrinsically tie it to a, space ball. Sorry, it doesn't. There's projection systems that use two poles. You can have three poles in the sky. You can have four. Why would you limit to a straw man?
You can't, we're not talking about a projection. The globe is not a projection. It's the globe. And if the Earth is flat, then to have a flat map of a flat surface, you don't need a projection. So you need the non-projected map.
Fallacy like you have. False dichotomy, Will. You're exposed again in front of all of creation.
I'm not, Ronnie. You just said
you created a false dichotomy, and you used a single pole pressurized pizza dough model, which, if you've checked, I've
he didn't use Gleason map.
Stamped a live interview with Jaron Campanella, who you used in your final experiment, which is actually an observation. They aren't scientifically in any form, shape, or way, which we're going to get to. I showed him that the sun rose south of east and set south of west in the southern part of the so-called Earth, right? In Punta Arenas, as you would say it, right? I showed him and I said, Jaron, for the next 8 years, are you going to continue to lie to people and push a false model of reality? And what did he do, Will?
None of this matters, right? Jaron escaped the cult. And yep, you debunked AE map. You should have exited Flat Earth then too. But you used to think the Earth was an AE map, just like Jason did.
He did. And you chose him to be your validator of truth?
I did
when
not.
When I told him and the whole world and all of creation that there was a sun that rose south, what does it mean, Will, if the sun rises south of east and sets south of west?
Hey, Ronnie, I didn't choose Jaron. Flat Earthers did.
Okay, yeah, sure. Tell another lie. Let me ask you a question, Will. My turn, right? You asked me a question, now I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you believe that Earth is on a tilted axis?
I do.
So then how can you explain a due east and due west sunrise, sunset 2 times of the year?
I got this out. So globes have this, they're offset like this, right? This is 23.5 degrees. That's why they do this. So we're going to have the camera be the sun, right? And when it's like this, you can see the Antarctica is more visible. So this is where the sun is in relation to the Earth when it is December, right? So we were in Antarctica, and no matter, right, you can always see Antarctica. And if this wasn't in the way, you would always see pretty much all of Antarctica as I rotate this, right? But this is in the way, so physics, right? Anyway, so now let's move the sun around to the other side of this, or the Earth to the other side of the sun. Now, of course, you can't see it because it's on the other side. So I'm going to put it like this, right? So now this is as if it were on the other side. Now you can see the north, right? You can see the North Pole and the Arctic Circle, right? And so as it rotates this direction, then you can see all of it. Okay, so this is June. Now, here we go. Here is the angle on one of the equinoxes, and here is the other equinox. It doesn't matter. How does the sun rise? Remember, you are the sun. Okay. Going the wrong. Let me do this so we can go this direction. Okay, you're the sun. So here we are. I'm going to put, you can't see where I am. I'm going to, right here on the equator. Look at this. Here it is. This is where the sun is rising for this position, which is on the equator in Ecuador. That's straight east. Up here, straight east. Up this whole line right along here where the terminator line is, everywhere on here is looking to the sun straight east. I just did it, Ronnie. You could have just gotten a globe and tried it. Flerf's so dumb. Like, we debunked it. No, you didn't. Let me make this clear. If you think that you found something that centuries of people that spent their entire life and career studying, if you think that you're the one that discovered that they didn't do the geometry at all even once, if you think that they didn't ponder how maybe some of these different things worked, probably you should think, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that wasn't right. Let me give it a shot again. Let me look deeper. Let me read some of the writings that they wrote on this topic. Let me ask somebody and listen to their answer on this topic to see if there's something I'm missing. But no, he doesn't do that. He thinks that he debunked the due east sunrise by not doing what I just did. Ronnie, you so dumb.
That's the equinox, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so that's
Not the solstices.
okay. Yeah, so that's pretty easy to explain.
Explain it.
It's the midway point when each pole is tilted directly toward the sun. It's halfway in between that.
Yeah.
Halfway in between that, huh? So
That's right.
you're telling me that at that point, both poles are equally tilted? That there's not one? So which causes winter and which causes fall?
It's sideways.
So what you're not showing
It's sideways. That's why. He doesn't get that.
your audience, right, is an actual graphic of it. Why don't you pull it up?
I don't have a graphic of it handy.
No? That's too bad. Because if you're on an Earth tilted at 23.5 degrees to its axis, you can never have a due east, due west sunrise set.
I just showed
doesn't
it.
go like this. It doesn't tilt throughout its orbit. It simply goes around in its supposed orbit around the sun, which isn't proven. We can actually measure the sun moving. The Earth doesn't change its tilt wheel. It doesn't wobble. Is that what you?
No, nobody claims that, right? So here I'll show you. Here's the sun. Let me get this full screen here. Here's the sun, right? It's out of scale. Out of scale. I'm just showing you for location. So here, when the Earth is over here, you see how the North Pole is tilted towards the sun? Right now, when the Earth is over here, right, you notice how the South Pole is tilted toward the sun. North Pole, South Pole. That's it. It doesn't wobble, right? There's an annular wobble, a Chandler wobble. These are very, very small wobbles, like a couple meters per day, several meters per year. Those, yes, they're very, very slight. And then there's the precession of the equinoxes, which is a many thousand-year wobble, right? There's multiple different very slight wobbles and slow wobbles. But for the most part, within the course of over a year, there's no big wobble. It's not doing, right? It's not doing this. That's not how we get the seasons. That's not it. It's this. One side, other side. Seriously. But I will say, I think a lot of people do think that there is a wobble. I remember as a kid seeing a news report where they're like, on the equinox, you can balance an egg because the wobble of the Earth is neutralized. It's right in the middle. I remember seeing that as a kid. Not true at all. Not true at all. People thought that. You can balance an egg the same any day of the year. Not well.
You're claiming?
No, I can visualize it, but if you can't, that's okay.
No, I can visualize how a due east, due west, sunrise, sunset twice a year destroys your Glurfer idea of reality. Let's move on to number 2 because you've already failed to limit or meet the actual required answers for reality. So what's the second part? You want me to tell you why Earth is flat?
That's right. That's right. This is
okay. Let's go through it because I know you got.
This is your time to shine.
Sure.
Make your case that the Earth is flat. Just don't mention the globe.
Sure. Well, right off the top of the bat, we can use level flights from the NTSB data, right? Planes fly level. They don't nose down following quote unquote curvature. What's your
So, oh my goodness. This is tilt. What do they call it? I always forget that. But anyway, they think that that an airplane, they don't understand, right? That when you're in an airplane and let's say you're airplanes tip up, okay, but let's remove that for just a second, right? And they're always tipped up because they're fighting gravity. Pitch data. All right. So now when they tilt up by 3 degrees, say your pitch says 3 degrees up. Oh, right. Let's ignore that for a second. What flat earthers are imagining is that they're imagining that when you're here, right? And then you move to here, that the pitch should change. But in fact, it should not, because pitch is relative. When you're here, pitch is relative to this location. When you're here, pitch is not relative to this previous location. It's relative to this new location. Again, this is the downward vector that gravity establishes, right? So when you're here and you say, well, the pitch of the airplane is X, and when you're here, the pitch of the airplane is about the same. And when you're here, the pitch of the airplane is about the same. That's what the globe predicts. So you're not actually finding evidence for flat Earth because the pitch is relative to where you're currently located, not to where you started from. Flatties are so brain dead. They just don't understand simple stuff like that.
What's your answer for that?
The globe model says that planes fly level, and it never says that they should nose down.
Curvel. Wait, curvel. You're saying level means curvelled, right?
No. So, Ronnie, are there two?
So level means level. So you don't get to decide what level means. When an airplane, right? When the airline industry says flying level, they get to decide what that word means. Not you. You don't get to redefine it. When a surveyor says level, they get to decide what it is, not you. What they mean by it, not you. You don't get to redefine the word that they use. So if you've never seen it before, mctoon.net/level, here it is. This is just a long list of different definitions of level as an adjective referring to the shape of the earth, right? Here it is, adjective, right? They'll take a noun, they'll take the verb, or they'll take an adjective that's not referring to the earth. But you need to actually not cherry pick the wrong one. So level, adjective, from Merriam-Webster. Having no part higher than another, conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts of the earth's surface. Here you go. Level line is this curve, right? So horizontal plane is the line at this part that's tangent to the level surface at that point. So here is A. Remember we had, I showed the Euclid, book 3, prop 18. Right here. That's what this is doing here. This horizontal line is tangent at point A. Anyway, bunches of them. You don't get to redefine the word level. It has a meaning. It means curved.
Two different words in English, one called flat and one called level. Are there two different words?
Is a level curving, or is it parallel to a flat horizon?
Curving.
Level. The reason we have the words flat and level in the English language is because they're different. Level does not mean flat. So level can refer.
So the wall behind me is flat, but it's not level. It's also not plumb, by the way. That wall behind me is not plumb. Plumb, straight vertical. It is tilted by more than 1 degree. It tips. Now, by looking at it, is it tilted toward you or away from you? It's more than 1 degree. Anybody know? Can anybody tell with your eyes whether it's tilted more than 1 degree toward you or more than 1 degree away from you? Flatties will look at a picture of something that's 40 miles away, 30 miles away, and say, oh, how come it's not tilted away from me? How did you tell? It would be tilted less than a half degree away from you. So how could you tell whether or not it is or is not tilted away from you? If you can't tell this wall, clear picture, just a couple feet away from the camera, you're not looking through 30 miles of air. You're not having any issues with any of that kind of stuff. There's not a bunch of choppy surf in the way. No, this is just right there. If you can't tell that, anyway, flat and level, not the same.
Will.
No,
all of creation.
It's in the dictionary. You can't blame me for that. It's in the dictionary.
You should have said through pendulous veins or mercury erectors, right? Which actually only keep at a local level an actual gyroscope erected correctly. So for you to prove that Earth and a plane is flying around the curvature, what you need to do is take a non-assisted gyroscope. Are you listening to me, Will?
Hey, Ronnie.
Maybe Ronnie wants to get the non-assisted gyroscope.
This is important. Ronnie, you mentioned the globe. This section is over. You mentioned the globe.
Oh, you still don't want more?
No, I
want to go through how water finds its level, parallel horizons, the celestial poles, and sunlight and shadows all prove that Earth is a fixed and stationary plane. We're not even talking about the Bible yet.
I can't believe you did this. Okay, you're the third person. I'm going to give you a chance right now.
Okay, we go on to the third part.
Okay,
fine.
You don't want to talk about the SBVR?
No, we're going to get to that. Now, are we not going?
We're going to get to that? No, you're not.
On to your experiments. I'd like to go through 1 through 12. If you just let me quickly read a quick paragraph, won't take long.
I want to go through all of them, 1 through 12. Okay, sorry, my video's frozen. My goodness. It happens every time. All right. There we go.
I'm sorry, you can't do that.
The core fallacies in Will Duffy's 12 proofs, which aren't proofs, they're observations, right? Am I allowed to speak? Am I still presenting?
I'm changing the screen right now.
Okay. So you did 12 observations. They didn't meet the actual rigor or actual needed functions of what an actual experiments are.
Oh, and he's an expert on knowing what is and is not an experiment, because they do experiments that are more rigorous than this, right? When they got their video of the sun with the clouds behind it, they were more rigorous. Yeah, you bet. They put on a solar filter like we did. No, they didn't.
You didn't have any independent variables. You didn't need any of the actual rigor. What you did is you created 10 fallacies that all matched meridians that get to a southern pole point, which is easily explained in a virtual reality with a SBVR model. Perfectly explained. So number one, you had the SBVR predicted it. We showed that the sun would actually rise, and it would actually, at a certain point inside reality, you have to have 2 poles in a flat plane inside of a...
Ronnie.
Can I just finish one point?
I'm sorry. I need to tell you which one of these we're going to discuss, okay?
I want to do all 12 really quick.
That's okay. So, I'm not willing to... Hey, Ronnie.
What? It's going to be quick. It's one...
The ego, the hubris of this guy.
Paragraph. If you let other people ramble on and on, just let me. So I have a question for you about...
You're being disrespectful here. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best to give everybody a chance. There's other people waiting right now. They've been waiting for a long time. So I want to talk to you about critical thinks experiment, which is number 10, the weight variation.
Absolutely. So how ridiculous?
You're interrupting.
So I can get through more.
Ronnie, you're interrupting.
I can explain. Go ahead.
Yeah. On the globe model, things weigh less at the equator, and they weigh more as you go to the 2 poles, and that's due to the rotation of the spherical Earth. Critical Think made a prediction because no one had ever done this experiment in history at Union Glacier Camp. He looked, he utilized the coordinates, latitude and longitude of Union Glacier, and made a prediction based on the size and the rotation speed of the Earth. And his prediction was spot on. So how did he predict that if we don't live on a rotating globe?
Will, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Would something weigh the same amount, whether it be at sea level or whether it's 10,000 feet into the air?
I don't understand your question.
So the fallacy...
It should vary according to the globe, but on flat Earth, since there's no centrifugal force, and they also claim gravity doesn't exist, what causes that variation? It should not vary due to centrifugal force because the Earth is not moving according to them. So where is it?
That happened with your quote-unquote observation, which doesn't have controllable independent variables, is weight misinterpretation, right? Will, you and Critical Think ignored altitude and air pressure like dumbasses.
It actually included included altitude, and the air pressure is minuscule in changing on it, because the scale and the weight are both in the same varied pressure, and so it doesn't have a huge impact on the measurement.
Weight variation differences are due to altitude and air pressure. You didn't have any controls, and it's a completely invalid plane. Can we go through a few more?
We included elevation. Why does he just say that?
Let me do the 24-hour moon.
Ronnie, no.
I have every single one.
Hey.
And if you just kick me off and you don't allow me to speak, everybody can find. We are going to go through for the next 6 months to a year. We are going to go through every
They're so butthurt. I love it.
single one of your
That's
observations.
okay. Ronnie.
Can I ask you one final question? Will, why did you not go to the complete 90th degree South Pole? Did you not have enough money to fly there to the station? Because what would have happened is you would have measured a sun circling perfectly level to the horizon of Earth. Did you know that if an Earth...
Which is what the globe predicts, but your derpy map doesn't. How does it work on this map? Because the sun goes across here and then teleports, right? We would be looking north, right? And then it would get to other spot and jump over there. When it goes waka 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 waka, boom, across the other side, waka 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 waka. That's what it would do, right? On this derpy map, or on this map, what would it do? Well, we were here. We're in Antarctica, right? This is about where we were on your map. So the sun would go over here, right? We'd look north, this would be due north, right? And then it's go to the west, and so it'd be northwest at this point, and then waka 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 waka, show up over here, right? It'd disappear from northwest, and instantly, or maybe it'd take a little bit of time. Who knows if it would teleport instantly, or if it would take, part of it would teleport at a time. Wow, that's a good question. Anyway, and then we would see it to the east. That'd be to the northeast. And then it would come, 6 hours later, it would have swooped down like this to this goofy direction here, and then it'd swoop back up. That's what we would see on this derpy map. But what are you going to say? You're going to say it should be level the whole time? No, that doesn't make any sense, because the variation in distance is dramatic over your goofy map.
Earth is tilted at 23.5 degrees, that path would also have to be tilted? And is that why you didn't go to the north or the direct actual 90 degree South Pole?
No, the globe predicts that at the actual poles, at the North Pole and the South Pole, that it should not wobble up and down throughout the day. It should have a slow variation over the course of 6 months.
Hey, Ronnie, I'm going to answer your question, but people can tell you're being disrespectful here.
You've disrespected me and my entire group of friends for over a year now, and you don't like it? Oh, that's too bad, little crybaby. Okay. The whole world is watching you. So can you answer my question before you put me off of your non-debate debate where you created a stupid trap for everybody? Can tell me?
Of course it's a trap. The Earth isn't flat. So any flat earthers showing up to a debate where they need to show the evidence for the Earth being flat is a trap by definition.
What would happen? Why didn't you go to the South Pole, Will? Why did you not go to the South Pole?
Cost.
Oh, now you're broke.
I didn't say I was broke. People have no idea how expensive it is to go to.
So it was $40,000 to go to where we went, and I think about another $30 to go all the way to the South Pole. Because ALE, if we went with ALE, that's how they go. You stayed. They have all their stuff is staged at ALE, because at Union Glacier, because that's where the plane goes. They have the plane that goes back and forth between Punta Arenas and Union Glacier. So if you want to go see penguins, you're going to go through Union Glacier. If you want to climb Mount Vinton, you go to Union Glacier. If you want to go to the South Pole, you go to Union Glacier. That's their base there in Antarctica. So that's how it goes. But yeah, it's a lot more expensive to go all the way to the South Pole, because once you get to, right, it's basically what we paid for was 4 days at Union Glacier, right? So now pay for that and go farther south and stay at a different place, and then come back, so that flight down, flight back, that extra one, right? and the lodging down there. Now ALE owns all the material at Union Glacier. I don't know what they own at the South Pole Station. You might have to contract with the Amundsen Scott Station to get a spot there, or maybe they'd set up tents there, right? And they'd have to get the tents down there for you to stay in, something like that. Oh my goodness. And the George says, I got hit with a bad case of the Invisibles today. Went to the emergency room, been here 6 hours, still haven't been seen. I've heard that story before. What happened? Sorry, I need a little tab. Hold on. Okay. All right, back to the crybaby while Jordan types up what happened
at the South Pole, and we would not have had 9 people participate
Just
in TFE. It would have been 1, maybe 2. People had to raise money that wanted to go on their own. But I will tell you, Ronnie, that Critical Think did include altitude. And
that's the reason why things weigh differently depending on their altitude. It has nothing to do with a spinning sphere. What a crock of absolute garbage. Listen, Will, I do appreciate you letting me come on.
But why does altitude change things? On the globe, it makes sense because the law of gravitational attraction is in the amount, the magnitude varies based on the square of the distance between the centers of the two masses. That makes sense. But for your version, which you don't understand anything about it, you don't even know why things vary. You don't even know why stuff goes down, why it accelerates down. You have no clue. Not even a hint. Just does.
Come on, right? And I am very disappointed in you that you're walking away and retiring, because I wanted to have an actual debate where I brought forth the actual SBR model until you actually admit that you created a false economy with a single pole pressurized pizza dome. I wasn't going to be able to do that anyways. But moving forward, MCToon, Wolfie6020, Dave McKeegan, Fight the Fat Earth, all of you, each and every one of you are publicly in front of all of creation called out. We are coming for you. I hope you've
No, it's actually just in front of your channel with all of your fan.
enjoyed the last year of your ridiculing and mocking innocent people for the truth. Thank you for having me on, Will, and be prepared to have every one of your observations absolutely destroyed.
Thanks.
Thank you and goodbye.
Bye-bye. Ronnie, how are you?
Oh, what a crybaby. Oh, what a crybaby. Oh, poor little Ronnie. You're going to get embarrassed in front of all of creation. No, just yeah, your channel, which nobody watches. And like, if what happens if you go to their channel and say anything? You'll get blocked. They love blocking people. That's what they do. That's their favorite thing, is blocking people. And then cry censorship. All right, that's all I got. It's been 2 hours and 45 minutes. So we need to see the old man what do we call him? Old paw Yahweh? Oh, Yamaha. Old man Yamaha dancing with the raccoon. Raspberry Limbic Tad says 0.0 Island. That's a super mega straw man. No fake Lanzu. No, I look, if you want me to review the others, these were the ones that I thought were the funniest. But yes, I will be. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get the one of Lindsay. I'm just going to post that with very little commentary, just as Crazy Man Talking. It's an independent video. And then we can look at Alonzo, and there's a few others that were pretty derpy. I can prep them. We can do them another time. But I think Thursday, I will address Dirth's doxing and accusations that he made against me. I think I will address them then. Algorithm says Shakira called. She wants her nonsense lyric back. Hold on. What's hips don't lie? I don't know. Is that it? I don't know Shakira well enough. I'm sorry. Jack Fetter says, if only there was some way to get to the other side. Oh, I know. What if we wrap the map around all the edges, making it like a ball shape? Yes. Make video songs for those guys. Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good. Need to get some inspiration, but yeah, I suppose Pac-Man. The Pac-Man. Osider74 says, no honest debate. Is he new to his side? All right, Max sent me a link to Shakira. This time for Africa. Oh, Waka Waka. Okay, I'm not going to play it because I get a strike on that. But okay, I'll have to play it later. I have to apologize. It's not, Shakira is not the one for me. I'm all about Kesha. It's just, yeah, it's all Kesha all the time. Brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack. Isotter74 says fallacy torrents. Oh, geez, yeah. And then Isotter74 says level. They love their magic words. Yes, they redefine it. All right, Max sent another one. Is this a different one? Oh no, that's the same one. So, yep. Can't play it though. I can't. That'll get a copyright strike right away. So, not a strike. Typically, what happens is if you play something that's got content ID on it, they will they'll just flag your video usually, and then any ad revenue goes to them instead of you. That's it. Like if you have a 3-hour live stream like this one, right, and then play 10 seconds of a video or a song from Shakira, then the content ID says, oh, that matches, so we're going to give all of the ad revenue to Shakira. Instead, they should say, well, you played out of a 3-hour video 30 seconds of Shakira, so we will give you that ratio of the ad revenue. That would make sense to me, or maybe something that's more skewed toward them a bit. But anyway, it's not a huge thing. The ad revenue isn't a huge amount of it. For real. When one super chat, a $1 super chat that doesn't have even a right, you need to spend $2 to get text. A $1 super chat is more than I don't know how many views, right? So it's way more for that. So it's so much appreciate the super chats and the support that I get there. I work full time. I would love to do this full time, but I can't unless somebody wants to be my benefactor. Can't do it full time. I don't make enough on through YouTube and stuff like that, and certainly nobody's buying my shirts. It's okay. It's okay. So it's funny when they're complaining about they do shirts and merchandise. Like, nobody buys shirts. It's okay. Kiwi Burb says, fact, trigonometry triggers the Flerfs. Oh yeah. They cannot do trig. Oh. Sir Blackbird for $5 says, have you already addressed Dirth's recent hired hacker claim it was a master class of acting? So yeah, I did at the beginning. So was it, there's two options. Did Dirth hire that guy so that they could set up this thing? Number one. Number two, did Dirth just find somebody that was trying to scam him, like we all get? This is normal, right? I get all day calls on my phone from scammers, right? A lot of the time I mess with them. I love messing with them, right? I tell them, I'll give them my address. I know my address is the US Bank Stadium. 415 Chicago Avenue, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55415. I'll give them the address of US Bank Stadium if they're like, hey, you know, do you need home improvement? Oh, I do. I need new windows. It's been a few years. Can you get me an estimate for new windows? Anyway, so I get them all the time, and Dave must think that he's main character because he thinks he's the only one that gets them. Everybody gets scammers trying to scam from them, Dave. Everybody, not just you. You're not special, Dave. You're not special. So either he hired somebody or he got a scammer that was just trying to scam him, and then he groomed that scammer. We'll talk about that and we'll see. Don Alder, acoustic guitarist, says YouTube keeps changing the playing field in regard to what it pays. Don't quit your day job. Oh yeah. So I said I need a benefactor, right? Hey, NASA. Just saying, NASA. If you want, I could do this more. NASA. I just need, you know, NASA pays nothing, unfortunately. So 12th Monkey wants a wrench. Yeah, you bet. And who gets a wrench? It's people who I recognize. So like Joe, I see Joe. But Joe isn't a very unique name. So I don't recognize Joe. Let's see. Heather Rachi says, gives this address. What is this address here? 1016 West Addison in Chicago. Wrigley Field. I've been there. Willie Foley says, Dave gets scammers. Is there no honor among thieves? Oh no, the scammers try to scam the scammers. They don't care. Wild Lee Coyote says, more than on a Flerfs view. More than an Flerfs view. I was thinking it was mistyped. Did I see the launch? I haven't watched the launch yet. It was the final ultimate frisbee session for the summer tonight. And so that started shortly after the launch was, or about the same time the launch happened. So I don't know. I'm going to watch it after this. So no spoilers, please. Joe, that, okay. Joe said you gave me a book. Okay. I know who Joe is now, but Joe, you see what I mean? Like I would have, if I knew it was you, I would have given you a wrench instantly. But it's just Joe. Yeah, right. Do what you want. You got a wrench. Just so you know, like, if you have something a little more unique, you know, like Joe that got a book from Toon, that would be, I would not forget that one. So, in case you're wondering, that was at the meetup last Wednesday. I try to bring stuff to give to people at meetups. And how do I decide? I feel bad. Like, do I do a competition or something? And what I actually did is I just waited until there were only 3 people left and I had 3 things. And I'm like, there you go. So anyway, and the book was a Batman book, a thick one. It's a comic book with like a whole bunch of Batmans in it. So there you go. Anyway, people, that's what I got. I hope you enjoy that. Be looking for, Thursday night, be doing something, and we're gonna see old man Yamaha. Old man Yamaha, where'd it go? Oh, I don't even have it in here. That's right, it got I don't know how it got taken out. It's the etherically displaced. It's not aptitude for method. It's not there. Yeah. Bob says you have to promote your merch for people to buy it. There's not even a link in the description. Do you hate self-promoting? I do hate self-promoting. Bob, you figured me out. I don't like it. Oh, there we go. Right Wing Vegan is here. There it is. Add as moderator. Says, I left too soon, but likely couldn't carry it in my bike anyway. Yeah. So, all right. Tell you what. Here's what I'll do. I'll set it up. I can do it. Got to duplicate. I'll give you a play-by-play. Austin, etherically displaced. There we go. There it is. Now take that out. So I took the I don't even cuss bro, removed the video from it, and now I add media source, create new. There it is, etherically displaced video, and now I just need to find it. I'm almost there. Find with etherically displaced. There it is. I think it's coming. We're almost there. It's loading. Well, that's what okay. Now I need to make sure it's the right one. I got a couple options here. Is this the July 9, 2024? That looks right. There it is. Okay. That's the one. And there it is. Okay. We've got it. It's in. Now I put it back in. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoy Old Man Yamaha dancing with the raccoon. We'll see you next time.
What is a full moon and what is a new moon on your model?
Probably like a magnetic cycle, and just like the center of a Flerfs cell image of a magnet.
I think it's probably like a magnetic cycle, just like the center of a Flerfs cell spiral. Image of a magnet, it's just black in the middle. It's actually pure inertia, not just a little. In the Flerfs cell image of a magnet, it actually goes into its inertial state, then charges back up. It becomes like etherically displaced. Yeah, you start to see it charge up once more, and it goes back like it did before. Once it becomes like etherically spaced, you see it charge up and take its place. Oh, shucks, ain't that so? That's how moon phases work, fam. Pass the dresser. In the magnet's heart, centrifugal divergence flies, centripetal convergence pulls, defying all science. Etheric whispers sing, light and shadow blend, magnetic cycles spin, where physics seems to end. In the Flerfs cell image of a magnet, it actually goes into its inertial state, then charges back up.
Oh man,
it becomes
Yamaha.
like etherically displaced. Yeehaw! Grab your partner, swing 'em round, magnetic cycles up and down. Either song in the air, hillbilly science everywhere, 'cause it's like etherically displaced. Yeehaw! Yo, belly on up to the Wixit word salad buffet. Who has light vinaigrettes? It's behind the Jugger Ranch.
Then charges back up, and once it becomes like etherically displaced again, you start to see it charge up throughout a cycle, and it goes back